Welcome to another episode of The Bastard Sermon. I'm one of your three hosts, Cody Hucker.
Patrick Seta.
And Luke Young.
And today we've got on the owner of the Pike Tattoo Company in Cold Springs, Kentucky. Give it up, boys, for James or Jimmy Howell.
Thanks. Glad to be back. Glad to be back for sure.
Super happy to have you back.
Welcome back.
What I started saying right before we turned the mics on was
that he was gay.
Yeah, I'm glad he can announce that to his son and the rest of his family.
Right, absolutely, yeah.
Coming out of the closet on this episode. No, kidding. Kidding, of course. Kidding, of course. No, what I was going to say is I think that you and Mike Dunn, also from the Pike Tattoo Company, came on the episode right before we started doing videos. So now you're in the new studio. We've got full video and shit like that. Everything all queued up in the studio.
It is. It's awesome. Looks really good. Really good.
Is it a change up from the last time, just sitting in a fucking attic worrying that you're going to bump your head on that triangular ceiling?
Yeah, but it was cool, man. You guys built an atmosphere to where it wasn't about any of that. You know what I mean? It was always into the mind. It really wasn't so much on the visual end of it.
Right.
Yeah, we are pretty awesome. Yeah, thank you.
Well, 100% for sure. Huge fan. Huge fan.
I'm just happy that we've got you on video now because we could check out that dope shirt that you're wearing and shit like that. Shout your son out, man.
Oh, this is for my son Brian. He got it for me for Father's Day. He got matching ones. We haven't had a chance to wear them yet, so figured I'd pimp it out today.
We love Hawaiian shirts. I love Hawaiian shirts. I had to put one on just because you were wearing one.
Pat literally got undressed and redressed because he was like, "Oh, dude, this is the only episode I don't break my Hawaiian shirt on." The guest comes out. I will not be out Hawaiian shirted by my guest right now today.
You know, I was just thinking when we were talking about your son earlier, we could have everyone at the Pike shop on the show.
Oh, that'd be
but
cool.
we could probably never have Brian on. Because if he was on, he might get himself in trouble with you.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, man, he knows where a lot of the bodies are buried, dude. God dang, yeah. Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
No, even if he started opening up about his own life, like shit that you don't know about him and whatnot. Like,
Oh, wow, yeah.
What if that were to happen? He comes on, starts telling
what
some
the
crazy
fuck
stories.
did you do? When?
Would you whoop his ass?
Oh, no, man, no. Those days are long gone, man. I'm past that. I've got to be more...
No more ass whoopings?
No, I've got to be more diplomatic now.
Yeah.
What if he kills somebody?
I got about a good 5 seconds in if I don't have something accomplished by then.
Would you turn your son in if he murdered someone?
Hold on. I
That
think
is such a hard-hitting question.
I feel like Jimmy's the type of dude that's like, I know somebody that could fucking melt the bullets down, put it inside of a car block, take that to the scrap yard. Hold on, I know where a good place to bury the bodies. Years
Right.
of pipe fitting has taught Jimmy the best places in
Yeah.
the southwest of Texas to really, I mean, a
Yeah.
body will just get swallowed up and everybody will forget to go check there.
Right, yeah.
So would you?
I couldn't, man, because I would probably have helped him bury the body. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying.
You're a good dad.
Oh,
No
man.
more ass whoopings.
Right, no, I don't want none. That's like I say, those stages are flip-flop.
God,
and there's
I'm
6
fucked.
of them, so yeah.
They'll gang up on you. They're going to give you an ass whooping.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Is there ever a phase of being a dad? Because I'm in the super earliest phases of being a dad right now. Like, you got the newborn and taking care of the 3-year-old and whatnot. So, like, they aren't sizable with their own real opinions yet and shit like that. But, like, you ever get worried about your sons kicking your ass? Or, like, has there ever been a point like that during, like, raising sons? Because you say you got 6 of them.
Nah.
All that testosterone flying around.
Man, yeah, it is. And you'll have times where temper flares and stuff like that. But I'll tell you one thing, and it's all honesty, not trying to sound all cheesy or anything, as far as your kids go.
Right.
Not that I have any urges or per se that way as far as, like I said, my wife and I have been married 30 years. As far as messing around on her or anything, I would never want to break her heart or embarrass her like that. But just as big as that is, I know if I was to do anything along those lines, that way, I would lose their respect. And that would be a crusher, you know what I mean? Because when you got that relationship, man, where there's no bullshit there, anything, you can let it go. And to turn around and lose that, to where, that would be, I wouldn't want no part of that.
Yeah.
No way.
Right, I got you. But, like, I meant
Cody's meant like, are you scared that your son's going to beat your ass one
or ever
day?
try to fight you and you're like, I don't know if I can handle it at a certain point.
He
And
might
you're
beat
just
my
like,
ass.
Man, no, not really. You know what I mean? We don't really roll around that way too much.
But do you think they could?
Jesus Christ, Patrick.
Do you think your sons could beat you up?
I wouldn't say it would be impossible. You know what I mean? I wouldn't say that. You never know. You know, they're
Got some secret dad moves you haven't told him about.
But he's like, I could lay out Brian, though. I could fold him.
Oh no, man! I'm telling you, man. That's the one. The still waters run deep, man. He don't do a lot of talking. Yeah, he's got a lot of grit to him. Yeah. I got a couple tricks. Maybe I haven't showed him, but I don't know. It'd be tough. It'd be a bunch of them.
And your oldest is tattooing at your shop right now, right?
No, he is my next to the youngest. Brian
okay.
Is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know how many kids you had
Oh,
until
man,
you
they're
said
all-
6.
My
and I
oldest
was
is
like,
30, and my youngest is 19.
man, how old are you? I thought you were in like your 40s or some shit.
Yeah, 49.
Okay.
I'll be 50 in January.
And you got a 30-year-old? Oh, okay, so
Yeah.
you're 19 when you had your first kid.
Yeah.
That's got to be a fucking crazy experience, and you're doing all this
Oh,
shit.
dude, right.
Did it blow your mind at age of 19 that
Man.
you're like, oh shit?
It was, it was just, it was, Beth and I were high school sweethearts and stuff, and, we just having, kids having fun, man, you know what I mean, doing a little drinking, partying and stuff like that, rebelling, you know what I mean, just getting out of the house, kind of doing what you was wanting to do, and then next thing you know, man, she's pregnant, and,
Oh shit.
it did, it got really real, you know what I mean, but I'd grown up with good, ethics and stuff like that, you know what I mean, and turned around, and there wasn't a lot of job opportunities in the little town I was from and stuff, so I joined the military. That was the most solid thing I'd do, and I knew I would have to straighten up. Not that I was a bad person, but I was doing some things that I didn't need to be doing.
What year
Teaches
was it
you
when you
discipline.
joined the military?
I joined in 88
What was the branch?
in the Army.
Okay.
Yeah, I was in the Army.
And you just wanted to do it to like straighten your life up? Like you felt like you were on the wrong fucking side of the tracks or
Man,
whatever?
It was the responsible thing to do. You know what I mean? My grandfathers had been there and stuff, and it sounds like a cop-out, but, I'd be able to provide for my family. You know what I mean? I would have insurance for them, and there was no jobs there that, you know what I mean? I could have started out any time soon and got to where, you was getting benefits like that. You know what I
Right.
mean? I wouldn't be getting laid off or anything. I could advance. It was all on me. You get to see the world. You know what I mean? Do the patriotic thing and serve your country, and it just at that time, man, that was the best move I could make.
Did you travel a lot?
in the Army?
Yeah.
No, not really. No.
What was the craziest shit that you got into while you were in the Army? I'm sure you could talk about it now. Like,
Did you
camp.
ever see combat?
No. Fortunately, I did not.
Luke wants to
no.
know if you've killed anyone.
No, man, and it's funny
not in
because
the Army, at least.
now my youngest son, man, when he was like maybe 7 or 8, he was learning about World War II, and he's a really big historian and stuff, and Mom told him, his mom, my wife told him that I was in the Army and stuff, and he comes over to me and he's like, so did you kill any Germans? And I'm like,
Damn.
In 88.
yeah, he was like 7 or 8, so he's not making none of these content. And I'm like, no, buddy, I ain't never killed nobody. He said, you kill any Japanese? I'm like, no, man, you got the wrong war. I said, that ain't what Dad done, you know what I mean? He said, did you drive any tanks? I'm like, no, I never drove any tanks. He said, did you fly any planes? And I'm like, no, I jumped out of planes. He said, but you didn't kill nobody?
That's all he cared
No,
about.
dude, you know what I mean? Yeah, jumping out of planes. That's my.
Was that crazy?
Like, was there death? Was there death involved? Was there death
No.
near you?
Tell me about some death, Dad.
Yeah.
Did you
For
shoot
the
at
love
anyone?
of God, I want to hear somebody dying.
Did you get to
story.
see
Dude,
death?
death stories
or-
are fucking horrifying though when you actually hear them and you understand just why they don't want to fucking talk about that.
Oh man, it was one of those deals. You want to talk about ignorant, man? I ain't trying to turn the subject, but we're going to go back.
Turn
to,
it, dude.
No,
to
turn it,
ignorance,
yeah.
You know what I mean? I've always been I didn't know it, but a huge fan of hats.
Yeah.
Comes to find out, yeah, because when I was in my recruiter's office, I'm sitting there, and he's got pictures of places that he had been and certificates and shit like that. You know what I mean? And one of them, he's got this beret on. It's a maroon beret. And I'm like, man, that's really, he looked like a badass.
Oh god, this already sounds
And-
like it's going into
Oh,
a bad
dude,
story.
yeah. And he's like, oh, that's my jump school picture. And I'm like, jump school? He says, yeah, as a paratrooper. Man, I'm 18. I'm like, man, what's that? He goes, I jumped out of planes. I'm like, no, kid. And he's like, yeah. I go, do you get to wear that? He goes, yeah, if you get stationed at whatever. And he smiles real big. He goes, are you interested? And I'm thinking, man, I look like a badass in that thing. I'm like, hell yeah, man. So,
Yeah.
swear to you, that was my dumbass 18-year-old thing. Yeah, I will look really cool. Let's do that. So I come back and I tell my mom, I said, I've signed up, yada, yada, yada. So I'm going to be a paratrooper. She says, you're going to be a what? A what? I said, a paratrooper. She's going to jump out of planes. So yeah. She goes, baby, you don't even ride the rides at Kings Island.
So you're like me. You don't even fuck with like
don't
just
even
getting
think
on
about
a
it,
ride?
dude. Just boom and go. Yeah, no. I'm not a huge fan of those neither.
But you're willing to jump out a goddamn airplane?
You didn't have a choice though, did you?
No, you did not. No.
Yeah, what was that like? That's what I was actually wanting to get to. Is like when you were told to get off the plane, were you like, "Fuck all this"?
Man, I'm not lying to you. It's like everything in your body's telling you no. This is the day. This is where you write the ticket. This is it. This is where you die. It's not gonna open. Everything horrifically bad is gonna go bad. This is the end of your life right now. That's the way it feels, man, with just adrenaline flying through you.
Your first time ever was by yourself. You didn't have anyone with you.
That's what I was going to ask. Do you do a tandem when on your first times jumping out of those?
No, when you do that, you're on a static line. So they'll jump 10 paratroopers per door per pass. So they'll drop 20 guys, and they'll space them out. They'll give them like 2 or 3 seconds in between to spread them out across the drop zone. That way they can talk to them and stuff like that. But, yeah, it was really scary. I kept telling myself, well, it's going to be like a really high dive. I forgot the part about where, it's running 130 mile an hour when you come out the door. But, yeah, it was really cool. That changed me a whole bunch, you know what I mean, for sure.
Did you ever worry that you were going to pass out or anything like that? Or did you see people pass out or like puke on themselves while they're... I've seen a couple videos where these dudes will fucking throw up when they're tandem diving. Yeah, there was one that they played on your mom's house where this dude was just like... It's not an army thing or a paratrooper thing. It's just like a fun like skydiving thing. And the dude passes out and he leans his head all the way back and starts throwing up the dude's face. And the dude's filming and he's like, Brian, wake up! Wake the fuck up, man! And he's like, just throwing up in his face at 130 miles an hour, hitting him in the face. He's like, just kidding. And then the dude wakes up and he was like, Brian, are you good? Are you good? Like, you throw up into the bag. And he's like, I don't need to throw up. And it was like, no, you just threw up all over me. Like, you just fucked me up. Did you have anything like that with guys that you saw? Like,
man, well, okay, so anytime once you get on these aircraft, if you puke or anything like that, and this is one of the it's a big deal. Article 15 is in the Army. It's like a big fat ticket. It goes on your record. They take money out of your check sometimes, things like this.
When you barf?
When you puke on the plane?
Oh man, you can get it for anything. You know what I mean? You can. They're like tickets. For
they're
anything.
looking to fine you.
Yeah,
for
if you
any
barf
reason.
on that plane, because they got to come in and do it like a big biological clean and all that kind of stuff.
With the dust and a
Can't
powder and a broom and dustpan, cost them a couple $100.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Then they've got a barf bag that they give you.
Yeah.
And man, so when you're sitting on the plane, we're sitting about like we are right now, but we're a lot closer. Our knees are really, really close, and we're shoulder to shoulder. And so when those instructors come through, they just walk on the tops of your legs as they walk back and forth. So you kind of got that intimidating factor too. You know what I mean? And somebody about 2 right down from me was starting to get sick. So they're trying to take their helmet off and get this bag out, and he sees it. Oh, this dude, he's waiting for this. He comes running across, gets the bag out, hands it to her. She pukes in it. She's done. He hands it back. He twists it up, man. He just starts putting it in people's faces, man. Kind of.
Ew.
And if you can't get to that bag, man, your instructions are to grab your shirt, and you're gonna puke.
Barf on yourself.
Right on. Yep. Yeah. And watch 2 of them do that right there, and
man.
Yeah, because it's really hot on those. It's really hot.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. I can't imagine what it's like to just go from nothing but the vibrations on the plane to jumping off and then hitting that wind and just getting sucked out and thrown.
Would you ever go skydiving,
before
Luke?
you start falling? Yeah, absolutely.
I want to go really bad.
I really do want to do it. Let's make
never
that
do
a
it.
bastard
Nope.
sermon thing. Yes,
my
Cody,
dick.
Cody is
No thanks.
Cody's the biggest
Not
bitch.
interested.
all 3
All
of
right.
us are doing
Guys,
it. We're gonna film it.
Cody's the biggest bitch ever, all right? Because
You're right.
he wouldn't even get
He's
tattooed
right.
at your shop. Remember on one of our episodes,
Hold on a minute.
remember hold on, let me just get there.
Hold
All right.
on a minute.
Jimmy, at our live show at your place, Cody and Luke made a pact to get their ass tattooed, and they bitched out because they...
No, it
I'll
was
tell
a
you
whole
Thought you
why
wouldn't wanna do it.
cocksucker. You know what it was.
No, I don't.
So for our fans that aren't aware, Jimmy was nice enough to invite the Bastard Sermon to do a big live event. He's got a Friday the 13th live event that he did last year in October. It wasn't a Friday the 13th. It was October 28th or something like that
Yeah, for
last year.
Halloween, yeah.
For Halloween, right? And he's doing like $13 tattoos and like or whatever. I forget what the deal was, but like they had a good thing and we're doing a live show. And me and Luke, they told us like, or Soap told us like, hey, I'll tattoo you guys for free just for coming and doing like an episode there and shit like that, for hanging out and whatnot, being a part of the event. And it was like, okay, cool. But we podcasted the entire fucking time. Luke had to leave like 3 hours into the event. So he wasn't, and Soap had a crazy line. This line was out the door. There was people sitting in the fucking rain.
When
for
I
this thing.
showed up, she said she had done like 18 tattoos already.
And it was like, what, Luke's going to leave now and be like, hold on, let me jump everybody in this fucking line that just sat in the rain. Some of them that we pulled in and then had to lose their place in line to come and talk with us on the episode. They were nice enough to come and be guests, but it was like, you're going to lose your place. And then they had to go all the way back to the beginning of the line. And I'm talking fucking 200 people and shit like that. And then what, Luke's going to jump in front of 200 people and be like, nah, me next, I'm special. So that's Luke's thing. And then mine was at the end of all this, you were getting your tattoo right at the end or whatever, and it was the first time I met Allie, was at that shop or whatever. And me and her sitting there hitting it off and whatnot, talking, blah, blah, blah. And then everything's wrapping up, and then she's like, do you still want that ass tattoo? And I'm like, I don't want you to have to tattoo my big, smelly asshole. Like, no thanks. Like, that's gross. Like, that's something that you charge extra for anyways, and what, I'm going to get it for free just for some dumb podcast joke? But on top of that, it's like, I would be your last tattoo of like 150 fucking tattoos, whatever the number is. I don't want to be that asshole. It's like, oh, and I'm getting it for free. And I was broke at the time. I was like, if I got this, even though it's a free tattoo, I'd want to like give you like $100 or something. Like, fucking thank you here.
Just so you know, I was going to tip for Cody. I was going to tip for him, and he knew this, and
but
I don't know how he
forgot that. But then I would have to owe him back, and then I was more of a drunk then, and more broke, and fucking spending my money even shittilier. So then I would have had to owe Pat
shittilier.
It's a new word that I've created just for this episode. But,
episode 80, shittilier.
77, you piece of shit. You don't know where we're at right now?
Whatever.
He doesn't even know his own podcast. He smoked himself retarded years ago. But yeah, so that's why we didn't get the ass tattoo. But
hey, there's always next time.
Episode 100's coming, and we are getting the
in a half a year, Luke.
then.
Relax, bud.
It's coming.
Yeah, it's coming.
What are you guys doing for it?
Luke's getting a
We're
whole
gonna get that
get the
tattooed
logo
on us.
Yeah.
Get that guy right there tattooed.
Jimmy, what do you say, huh?
Oh, I'm down. Absolutely. That's cool. That's really cool.
I was probably going to get it on my arms or something because I don't have any arm tattoos. I just have shitty kitchen tattoos that I got when I was 17. And I haven't ever spent money on tattoos since then. But
dude, there's so much fun. I love tattoos. I really do. And I like now it's like just so normalized. I feel like that you're kind of a minority if you don't have tattoos.
Right, yeah.
Wouldn't you say? For the most part.
Yeah.
There's still some people out there that are bitter about them.
Oh, my God, yeah. Where people like, I remember when I was working a job not too long ago, and they made me cover them up all the time. And I don't know why. It's not like I was seeing any customers or any shit.
There's
it's just so stupid.
At a place that I know, they make you cover up the tattoos with like arm sleeve covers and whatnot. And if you don't, and you know this, and they have to correct you again and again, they will write you up for it just for having the tattoos.
What a whack-ass place to work.
I feel like
Get a
that's
different
like,
job. That place sucks. Put them out of business by not fucking working there.
I feel like it's kind of like
they can't run their place without. Yeah, well, they can discriminate, but then you lose your business. That's a part of capitalism. It's like, yeah, you can be an asshole, sure, but like then when people find out that you're an asshole, nobody wants to spend money at your place. So yeah, be an asshole and lose your business for being a piece of shit. Like I don't know what else to tell them. If you don't like it, okay, don't hire people, but most people have them now. Like, you want to fucking be dicks to those people? Or they're selling their fucking life force to make $10 an hour or whatever garbage wage that they can make. It's what it is. You're sitting at a job for 8 hours a day that you don't want to be at, but you need money, so you're there out of necessity. And then, like, they're like, don't look this way, change your hair, fucking put on the shirt that I want you to wear, and fucking wear the dumb hat, and...
Listen to this slam poetry right now, dude.
Yeah, it's not slam poetry as much as just like most jobs suck. Like that's why I got.
It's bullshit. I don't think anybody should give a fuck about tattoos unless they have a curse word or something that's obviously offensive. You know, who gives a shit? Who gives a shit?
Yeah, those are the. You know, it's gonna be. I'm gonna stretch the shit out of it right here. It's almost like the same people that commit murder. They're gonna do it with whatever they're gonna do it with. You know, whether it's a shovel, a gun, or whatever. You know, if they're not mad about your tattoos, they're gonna be mad about your hair.
Yeah,
some people are just dicks.
Yeah.
Agreed.
But we got detracted talking about the
detracted.
That's a word, motherfucker? You want me to Google search
We got
this?
distracted, you dumb bitch.
We detracted.
Oh, damn.
We detracted from our conversation that we were having with Jimmy because I actually wanted to explore it a little bit further. Because you were, how long did you do in the military when you were doing paratrooping?
Man, I was in the military just a little over 2 years. Just a little over 2 years, and that's when they started downsizing and stuff like that, and they had enough mechanics, so I went ahead and took the out.
Do you think, were you ever like scared afterwards that they were going to call you back in? Like, hey, we're going to war.
Man, not really. That was like in the...
Then your son looks at you like, Daddy, can't wait to hear
those
stories. No,
you know what? You're right, because not long after that is when Desert Storm and all that come in. So yeah, I was ready to be pulled back, but man, it didn't.
Didn't happen?
No, it didn't
happen. Were you
happen.
thinking like, fuck, today I'm gonna get that letter in the mail?
Man, it wouldn't have bugged me, you know what I mean? Because now my wife and my new son was, back home with family and stuff. I wouldn't want to leave him for sure, you know what I mean? But if I was, I'd have rather left him there than, in at Fort Bragg where they really didn't know people.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Now, where did this turn into? Did you go into the pipe fitting shit first, or did you go into tattooing first? Or was there a string of weird jobs in between all of this?
Oh, man, yeah. No, man. I had a bunch of weird jobs.
What do you think the most fucked up shit that you did was? Not fucked up, but like weirdest job that you had to do. Like
the weirdest job I ever had to do. Did it have to be like really long employment or just like one task?
Whatever you think of.
It could be an hour of work before you quit, but whatever the weirdest story that you can pull from that is.
Man, I tell you one of the coolest places I ever got to work. I got to work at the Indianapolis 500 one time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, selling Crystal Light lemonade and coffee. Swear to you, man, $400 for the whole day, and you got a pass to go anywhere you wanted. Anywhere you wanted.
Did you get to meet a bunch of race car drivers that you liked and stuff like that?
No, man, it wasn't that cool. But it was kind of cool. So we get there at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and they've got these like backpack keggers. They're plastic, got a hose coming off of them, and it's got a pump. And so you're going to sell coffee from like 5 in the morning until like 10. Then you bring them back. They boil them out. They put this Crystal Light lemonade. It was on some banner they took for advertisement there. Then you're selling lemonade the rest of the day. So you're selling it in the dark, starting off. And we got down in the snake pit, man, where all the rough stuff was. And my buddy Les, he was crazier than hell. He takes off another way, and we're going through it and stuff. And, man, here comes these two big, just mean-looking dudes, man, like, God damn. And they see me, and they're headed right to me. They don't even know what I got. And then he stopped me. He's like, what do you got there, man? I tell him, I got coffee. Well, he wants to buy a cup, and the whole time the other dude's walking around me really checking this thing out that I got strapped to my back. And I'm like, I'm getting ready to get punched in the face really, really hard, and somebody's about to have my new cooler. And so that went down. That was really scary. The dude asked if he could have it, and I told him no, and asked if he could buy it, and I told him no. And then it got weird for a second, and they didn't mess with me. Unfortunately, I got out of there. So I ended up moving around a little bit later, look over, man, I see one of our coolers, like I leaned up against the van. I'm like, holy shit, Les has done got the shit beat out of him, man, and they stole his cooler, and this is where they live, is in this van. So I kind of take a big walk around in case it is bad, you know what I mean? Now, Les is in there. It's like, man, like I say, it's like 5 or 6 in the morning. He's got a Budweiser in one hand, big old bowl in the other hand, and they're drinking coffee. He's doing a really nice trade style kind of going on. But, yeah, it was really cool. That was a cool job I had.
God damn.
That sounded like it was about to get intense. Like you were going to take a wide walk around, find your buddy Les dead, and then you had to go fucking...
Well, when they was switching him over, a part was really cool. And Les was really crafty, man. He was always like that in school. We're standing by the ice machine. We're smoking cigarettes. They're doing the swap outs, the cleaning. This dude comes up, and he's trying to buy a bag of ice. And that's what we're leaning up against on the other side of the wall.
Now, when you say ice...
I'm talking bags of ice.
Every time
bags
you keep
of
saying
crystal methamphetamine?
Every time you say crystal, I was thinking you're about selling crystal meth.
No, Crystal Light. No, it's a lemonade. Yeah.
We can make the coffee and put a little crystal.
I thought the story was
lemonade.
way crazier than it was.
No. But the guy comes up and he's trying to buy a bag of ice, and then you're like, no. And he's like, man, I'll give you $50 for this bag of ice.
Sounds like a drug deal.
Right. Les catches the whole thing, and I'm like, wow, man, I would have sold it. So the dude says no, turns around, the guy goes walking off. Les is like, you give me $50 for a bag of that ice? The guy's like, yeah. So Les turns around, pulls it out, hands it to him. The dude gives him $50, and man just kind of looks at us for a second like he was waiting for a fucking receipt. Les like, you need to get out of here, man.
Really?
Oh, yeah, $50. We turned around, went around the corner, and finished smoking cigarettes, yeah.
God damn, $50 for a goddamn
bag of ice. Oh, you can get into those. You're not getting out of it. You know what I mean? You're right in the middle of a big old circle. Everything's expensive. Yeah.
Damn, you could sell fucking like just frozen water for $50.
They didn't want to sell it because they had bought it to use as far as like the lemonade. You know what I mean? So they wasn't selling the ice like that.
Yeah.
And I really drug that down to a shitty story.
No.
No, dude, it was great.
It was way cooler in color.
Where did all this turn into? Was the first vocational shit that you did, was that like the welding that you got into eventually? Or like what was like your path to, I want to get eventually to how you got the tattooing and shit like that, because I know it's like, it sounds like it's the Army, weird jobs, fucking welding, and then tattooing.
Man, they built us, in my hometown where I'm from, they built a steel mill just as I was going into the Army. I worked there for just a little bit. And end up going to the Army. When I come back, I end up going back to work there, and that's where I got into pipe fitting. Started off as a helper and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It was like it was funny, man, because the job paid $10 an hour, and I got the job. Dude tells me, he says, "Man, start Monday." And I come home and I tell Beth, I'm like, "You ain't gonna believe it," because I didn't know what their pay scale was. And the funny part is, you guys are probably not gonna be able to relate to this too much. I'm like, "Babe, I'm gonna be making $10 an hour." Man, her eyes light up real big. I'm like,
what year was this? Because there's a calculator that tells you like how much money was worth in that year.
That was 1990.
Okay, let's see. I wonder what minimum wage was in 19. Let's look that up first. Actually, what?
$3.25.
Are you serious?
$3.15, $3.25. Yeah,
dude. What the fuck?
That's gonna be my guess anyway.
Oh. Yeah, $3.35.
$3.35. There you go.
$3.80 is what it was.
Yeah.
Okay. So the money calculator thing, inflation calculator. Let's see what $10.
Now, when I say this, you got to remember, in the service, man, I was bringing home like $873 a month. So I'm getting ready to do that in like 2 weeks. You know what I mean? So it was really big. It was huge.
Is it working? What's wrong with this thing?
It's just a slow site.
Calculate. Oh, so it'd be the same as making like $20 an hour right now.
As a 20-year-old kid, you know what I mean?
That's
and
fantastic.
That's really good.
I'm making
money.
14 an hour right now. I
my
probably shouldn't have
God.
just said that, but I'm making 14 right now.
Yeah.
That would have been great, and I'm making good money right at 14, like working overtime and shit.
Sure.
Like,
And that meant that she could stay home, you know what I mean? And not both of us have to work and stuff like that. So, yeah, it was huge, man. And I got around. I was a kid for sure. You know what I mean? There was nobody within probably 8 years of my age, you know what I mean, to relate to. So it was always like working with like your uncles or your dad or your grandpa. Everybody was always, you always listened to everybody. It didn't matter. And to what it ends up boiling down to, man, is I really liked it, for one. And for two, it was the first adult thing that I had done that I got reassurance out of. Man, you're doing really great. You know what I mean? To where it was like, I could be one of these guys, you know what I mean? And, you know, 'cause, man, you're welding, you know what I mean? Cutting torches, man, and cranes and all this kind of really cool big stuff, you know, you're picking up stuff sometimes, 30, 40, 50 tons, I mean, big stuff sometimes. Really,
it's impressive shit to do, like to be able to like, I've affected like metal in a way and warped it into the way that I can make it into like different pipes for a furnace or fucking different like structures for a building or whatever. Like that's,
man, yeah.
I saw that light, that fire spark in my dad's eyes when he would make shit. I never got that myself, but like watching him fucking build a dune buggy or fucking like do some crazy shit like metal work or woodworking, and it was like holy shit. I'm taking this little fucking like pieces of wood and these little pieces of metal and making these crazy things. Do you feel like that it did some similar shit like that to you, where you're just like, holy shit, look at what I can do with just a little fire and whatnot?
Man, to be honest with you, it was about the money.
Okay.
I mean, it really was, you know what I mean? Because you would turn around and, like I say, man, I worked a lot of overtime, you know what I mean? A lot of 7 days a week, 10, 12 hours a day. I mean, I got 30 years. It's
you got
just
a family to support.
Right. You know what I mean? And anytime you could get ahead, that's what you tried to do. And if, like I said, if my wife could stay home with the kids, that's a bonus. And for the most part, that's exactly what she did. If she ever went out to work, it was just because she started to get bored or whatever, that way.
Now, I don't know if you have any stories like this, but I have a friend that has talked to me about, he used to work at a sheet metal factory where he's just bending like sheets all day and deburring parts and like doing shit like that. But he was like, there was a welder station in there, and he was like, they had these big opaque fucking walls or whatever, and he was like, that was the real high class job. You get paid top dollar, and then you peek over those opaque things to see what they're doing. They're over there doing fucking lines of cocaine and fucking, they would bring like They have
Are you serious?
pint of he was like they would have pints of whiskey in their fucking in all of their toolboxes, just pull that out, like taking shots, going back there,
those guys are
smoking
just,
joints, like blowing it into the because they had these big giant fucking fans or whatever that would bring up all the shit that they're working on constantly, because if not it could be
Look
dangerous.
how concerned Jimmy is right now. Like, I'm concerned. I don't know. I feel like that's a very specific group of individuals. He just
degenerate welder fucking crazy people, and I'm just curious.
People don't do that normally, right, Jimmy?
Was this just a
right?
one?
No, that's not a common practice. Myself, like I say, man, I'm a local a member of local 392 Pipefitters Union here in Cincinnati.
You want their names, don't you?
And, no, not
Cody, what's their names?
But man, there's a lot of that stuff that and for real, you know what I mean? It's a lot of the marijuana, this or that or whatever, man. Even with the drinking, sometimes, man, you're
dangerous as shit. That's all I was thinking when he was telling me this, and I'm like, with the high class job, like it sounds like you're about to violate every OSHA violation and put your whole fucking shop and local welders union and like fucking severe.
That dude's just trying to get home to his wife and kids too. You know what I mean? Because because you'll turn around.
But he just wants to be high and.
Yeah, sometimes like that. You know what I mean? And you get, it's like any other job. You got a guy that wants to build the world. You know what I mean? He's really motivated. You got the guy that's a dick. You know what I mean? The other dude, he wants everybody to be his friend. So you've got all of this moving around, and you turn around and start introducing things like that into it, man. You'll see dudes that are missing some fingers and stuff. But unfortunately, absolutely, I'm lucky to be around a group that just don't happen. You know what I mean? We respect one another enough that we don't do that.
Yeah.
Working that type.
I'm sorry. Would those torches actually burn off a finger like within an instant?
Yeah, oxygen acetylene torches. Are you working oxygen acetylene, or TIG welding, or what are you doing?
Yeah, we work with plasma. Sometimes we work with
plasma burn through a bank vault door.
Oxyacetylene.
So it would burn your finger off instantly.
No, it'd be like, I don't know how you would say it, like with a
couple seconds.
Nah, it really wouldn't. They don't really work that way. As far as with like flesh, it would burn the shit out of it. You know what I mean?
You could have a 4th degree burn, which is a burn all the way to the bone.
I never knew that was the thing.
Yeah, there's 3rd degree is like they say the worst, but the worst is actually it usually only occurs in people that get jarred to death as a 4th degree burn. But like you could get one from the high temperatures of like a plasma torch or something like that hitting you, because it'll immediately just tear right to the bone.
Right.
But the bone's the problem. Like you're not gonna really sear through the bone, even if you have. Like you got to sit there and.
Until we develop lasers for pipe fitters.
He's nodding no.
Actually, we do use lasers a whole lot. We use lasers.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Would those burn your fingers off in an instant?
Man, we've got some of them that they use in like weld qualifications and stuff. You ever see where they've got the little gun where you can point, it'll tell you the temperature or something. The surface temperature. Yeah. They've got them like that to where, let's say if you had a piece of metal that's carbon, but way down deep inside of it, somebody used some stainless. It can shoot there and tell you that there's stainless inside that, way down deep inside there. A lot of crazy stuff they do that way. A lot of it when we do layout and stuff like that, taking measurements and marking things and coordinates.
I'm sorry I'm so obsessed with the finger loss, but you said that you're lucky that you had your fingers. How do people lose their fingers in welding?
Well, when you say welding, it's like pipe fit. It's not fitting. Like even most of the time when you're welding, you know what I mean. It's never just welding's just a tool. You know what I mean. It's just like it's like a hammer and a nail. Boom, you fasten it there. Don't get me wrong. I'm not undercutting the process. It's a very important, a process. Not everybody can do it. It's hard. It's definitely a skill that's taught and not taught quick. You know what I mean. It's a long process. But in reality, that's what it is. It's a tool. You're going to hold these two things together. So with that, you've got prepping of those metals. You've got laying out of this goes here and this goes here, and it's got to be this high, and it's got to be able to support this, and there's a lot into it that way. It's wild because right now, I mean, like guys your age and stuff like that, and all over really, they're doing I'm sure you see it on the internet where there's a lot of promoting for the trades, the trade schools. You know what I mean, as far as carpenters, electricians, plumbers, pipe fitters, iron workers, and stuff like that. They're really pushing that real heavy across the board right now.
Like, you would definitely agree, though, that there's not as many as there used to be?
Man, I don't know if it's that or right now, you know what I mean? We're back to, everybody's doing a lot of building. So I think that's really more probably what it is. Everybody's doing stuff, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So
every single person I know or still follow from high school on Facebook that were in the trade classes at our school that would get them jobs when they graduated. To this day, all of them have, well, okay, not all of them. A handful of them have done really, really well for themselves at their age. Like, really well. And the other ones have always not had a job and have been well off. They've always been moderately successful since high school, since they've been taking those classes, and they've known that trade. Even the guys who were in the auto mechanic classes.
Yeah, they make a lot, too.
I think...
Aren't the people that do like underwater welding the ones that make the most though?
Shit.
Because that's dangerous as fuck. Isn't there like a predictability chance of survival in these things too?
Yeah, but it's not like you would think. You know what I mean? It used to be that way.
Yeah.
It used to be that way.
What do you mean?
Well, as far as them being, I mean, don't get me wrong, they're paid really, really well, but probably not like you would think.
Technology's improved a lot too, to the point where like a lot of things are a lot safer than they've ever been.
Right.
You're able to monitor people on a level now that's very different from how it used to be. So yeah, back in the day, not even back in the day, maybe 10 years ago, you got paid a little bit more to do that than now. But like Jimmy's saying, it's probably not an insane difference. In
it wouldn't be like no 200, $300 an hour like you would think it would be.
Have you ever done underwater pipe fitting?
No, as a matter of fact, I had been a helper for about 2 years, and I have an uncle that used to do it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And they had a place down in Houston, Texas called the Ocean Corporation. Man, and I'd filled out all my stuff and was getting ready to send it in to go down there because I was like, man, this would be cool because I'd gotten into welding, really dug it. And then that's about the time we had, I think it was Tanner come along, and it just wasn't in the cards to go. Now, I'm not blaming it on my son, don't get me wrong. I'm glad I stayed home and with all that right there. But, yeah, at one time I'd entertained the idea for sure.
I mean, either way, it seems like you were going to head towards success.
It was because, welding was always, man, from Indiana, you know what I mean? You got farmers talk about welding, you know what I mean? That was just one of those things that not everybody could do. Then you turn around and get lucky, you know what I mean, to fall into the right spot and around the right people to where they see, man, he's picking that shit up and throwing it in the garbage can really good. Maybe I'll show him how to tie a knot.
Right.
Where it was stuff like that, and they would feed that. If they saw you wanting to learn and you trying, 9 out of 10 of them would help you every time.
Isn't it the same thing with like tattooing? Like the same exact kind of vibe? No?
No, not from my experience. It wasn't. No, it's I think it's a little more hidden that way. They don't want to pass it on. You know what I mean?
Before we transition to tattooing, which I definitely want to do, so I want to get into like how this transition to tattooing. Not to get too serious on you, but I think that it's an important thing to bring up. I think that trades are a thing that's very forgotten amongst a lot of current youth, and maybe I'm wrong about that, and I don't know your exact feelings about it, but I think that, like, watching my little brother become a machinist and making, like, $8 more an hour than me, and he's, 5 years younger, by going into the trades in high school and shit like that, really helped his life and benefited him, and, like, I think that Jacob probably might have been a fuck-up otherwise, like me, and had to have just, like, found some job that can pay him moderately, like me. But no, he went to trades and he could still like do fuck up shit, but like be able to have a high paying job. And I think that that's an option that a lot of people forget about. They think that education's the only way because that's what was beat in our skulls. Because the past generation was like, we had to use our body to make money, and we don't want that for our kids. But sometimes it doesn't mean that like there's gonna be some kids that are fuck ups. If you're a fuck up in school, maybe you're creative. If you're not creative, go into the goddamn, like, the vocational programs. Figure out how to weld. Go into HVAC. Do some shit like that.
Right.
I don't know if you feel exactly like that.
Man, I'm not going to lie to you. I kind of got a twist on this a little bit. I get it. You know what I mean? I get it. We need to bring young people in. You know what I mean? And show them, introduce them to it. Some of them are going to want to do it. Some of them are not going to want to do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's just the way it is. But the one thing that does worry me about all of it, all right, so you've got the whole college thing, right? All these college loans and all this stuff going on. Now, here's the one thing that's cool about our apprenticeship in Local 392. Once you get into there, you don't pay for that. You pay for your book fees, which is, I think, around $100 or something for that
per
school
year or something?
Yeah, they're not too much.
Dude,
That's
and you
tremendous.
got a job. You've got a JOB. You're already paying into your benefits and stuff like that. You turn around, and we teach you to weld there. You turn around to Hobart. That's a good school and everything, but you're 20 grand in, and you come back, you're still going to have 2 or 3, 4 years of school left because you've learned to do one thing. You learned to weld.
Right.
And there's a lot more to that. But the one thing that does scare me about this is it's almost like they've turned around and they squeezed all the money. Everybody's caught on to these big monster school, loans and stuff. These
pretty scary.
Loans. Man, I'm afraid they're getting ready to do that to the trades, where you look up, okay, now it's not biology and this and that. Now we're going to have this big electrical school. Now we're going to have this, and it's not going to carry no real relevance. You know what I mean? It's just this and that. It's a piece of paper. It
doesn't mean that you had any on the
exactly.
site
You know what I mean? It's not going to have no real substance to it. You know what I mean? Because they're going to try to compete with our schools. And man, there's no competing with our schools. It's not even close. You know what I mean? You couldn't build that. You know what I mean? You just couldn't. So, yeah, that's the one thing that I'm kind of waiting back.
To think about. I definitely think that's possible. I never even thought about that until just now. It's such a different job scheme or job area that I would never think they could totally do that. People need to take advantage of that now, but if you overflood that market, they're going to take advantage of you.
Bingo. So here's the thing. All right, let's say that these guys, because a lot of you always hear union. You know what I mean? It's you get paid good. You get paid well. You're not getting rich.
For most, my dad's been in the union as long as I've been alive.
Right. You know what I mean? And you'll be able to provide for your family well. So this is the one thing where you turn around. All right, so if we turn around, we want to drive those prices down. Let's flood the market. Even if they're not all great electricians or even adequate electricians, hey, they're electricians.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To where you flood the market, and now you can drive the wages down because now everybody's a freaking electrician. You know what I mean?
So it's not the best option for everybody. Not everybody should go there because then it fucks up the job market for people that are skilled workers.
If they're going to go that way, you know what I mean? You hope that they get a good education. You know what I mean? You hope they get introduced to it in the right way. Otherwise, it's just a race to the bottom.
Right.
You know what I mean? As far as, because, then you turn around, and
it's just going to be worthless, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it means. It's the same thing with college. Like most jobs you get now, they're not really looking, to be honest, they don't really care what your degree is really in as long as you have something that's relative in a way.
Dude, that
slightly
looks good for their
to what they do,
company.
You know? No matter where you're at. And luckily we're in a day and age where, it'd be great to go to college, but you can do so well without being in college. There's so many things you can do, even without trades. There's a lot of different jobs out there.
Oh, 100%.
What scared me was, I remember I was 15 years old, and they made it a big deal. My aunt, Melinda, who was I think she was 45 at the time. They were like, she just finished paying off her college debt. And I'm like, are you, what? Now? I got to look forward to that? What do you mean? I just have a debt forever?
Yeah, why the fuck would you want that?
Yeah.
It's you make all that extra money. Yeah, extra couple bucks an hour for all this shit. But all that extra bucks an hour you're getting is going straight back into your school loan, so it just fucking cycles. Good luck. You won't get paid until 30 years later. Really get to see that profit.
Devil's advocate position, Allie has her, is the associate's degree first?
That's 2 years, yeah.
Okay, bachelor's degree is what she has then. And she just paid off her student loans with her last, income tax thing. So yeah, I guess if there's extenuating factors that mean that you have to spend more money, it might take you a little bit longer because you can't prioritize those loans, especially if you're in Jimmy's position where you got 6 kids and whatnot. You got college loans, and you're not in Jimmy's position where you're making fucking $20 an hour in 1990 or whatever, $10 then or whatever, but the equivalent of $20 an hour now, and you can't prioritize those loans. So I think that it also depends on what school you go to, what kind of financial aid that you get into, and there's a lot of factors that play into it, really. But that student loan shit scared the fuck out of me, and that's why I never went to college. I was
scary,
able to go to
man.
college. It wasn't like I'm a fuck up because I never went to college. I wanted to go, but I was I have no idea what I want to do. I'm 18. I don't have any clue what I want to do. It took
no
me
one
until
knows what they want to do.
I went for a year and a half, and then I started to talk to Cody about a podcast.
Yeah. I was 23 years old before I decided that I wanted to be a cook as a living. That was 23. That's 5 years out of college age or whatever the fuck, normal college age. You can still get into college and stuff like that, but sometimes it takes a while.
Yeah.
Nobody really knows. But sorry, we're getting into a
no, man. You never know how you're gonna land. You know what I mean? You really don't. It's absolute, man. If I wouldn't have met Soap, you know what I mean? I wouldn't know you guys.
That's true.
It's just. Man, you just got to hope you pick up the right one when it comes by you, you know what I mean? And hope you dodge the shitty one when it comes by you.
Now, we didn't have you on to talk about pipe fitting and vocational stuff. We want to talk to you about like tattoos and like fun shit and stuff like that. But actually, I'm curious how.
Hold on, I want to get into this one last thing because it segues into something we want to talk about. But yeah, you never really know where life is going to fucking take you. I mean, we were just talking about this before you got here. Like, so we started this podcast in the fucking garage, and like we don't think anybody would ever fucking listen. We just want to talk. And
they
have
still
fun.
don't.
And I don't care. But the other night, some dude from Australia messaged Cody and I and told us something that like kind of rocked my world. And I just want to shout him out real quick.
The guy's name
it gives you the inspiration. Like, wow, I never knew starting this would do something like this for someone. And now it makes me want to do it even more.
Yes.
If you were to look this kid up, he's one of our. I don't know that he's the first Australian listener, but he's the first one to reach out to us and talk to us. He's from
Cody thought he was the first at first.
Other side of the world or whatever, and he was like, he told me how to pronounce his name. If you look him up, it's Weston Buckley, but it's pronounced Western Buckley. Western Buckley. This kid hit me up.
No, the fuck it's not.
It says Weston.
No. It's.
I haven't talked to him that long.
No, he hit me with it because I told him I was going to shout him out.
Okay, but you can't spell your name Weston and be like, no, my name's Bradley.
Hey, just so you know, he was going to bust your fucking balls this whole episode, man. I don't know why.
Yeah, sorry, Western. Whatever Luke says right now isn't a reflection of, like, the bastard sermon's feelings, just Luke's feelings about you, bud.
Weston. Sorry, bud. It's not Weston.
Here, he messaged us and he said...
He sent this to me. I got back to the first message, and I'm not reading this, and Pat's not bringing this up to be like, oh look, cool, we got fans everywhere, and like some like dick sucky thing about the bastard
That's exactly
sermon,
what Cody was on about.
No, it made me
totally
feel,
not.
Like Pat said, I think that this was something that we started that we thought like, yeah, there'll be 3 downloads every time that we fucking pay $30 a month to get this up, and those 3 downloads will be us 3 downloading to listen to ourselves talk, and like we were lucky enough to have guests like you, Dana, Jeff Tate, fucking Jay Armstrong, Rand Barnacle. The list goes on and on and on for fucking ever. Anthony Tank Mansfield, Danny Babcock, all these cool people that we've had to get on, and then all these fucking listeners, all these people, and like you never think when you're starting a fucking podcast in a garage with your friends that you're gonna get to talk to all these cool people. Let alone there's gonna be somebody across the world that this means something to. Like it was a good feeling when he wrote us this, but he wrote me this. I was a little drunk the other day in the middle of the night, and I added him, and he wrote me this just randomly. It says, "Hey mate, I know this is pretty weird saying this, but I was diagnosed with bipolar manic depression and major anxiety, and it's shit to deal with, but listening to you guys and the others really helped me get through the day. I've listened to all your podcasts and appreciate what you guys do. Thanks for it. Keep doing what you guys do." And it was just like, I was really like, cool. That's a nice message, but then you find out like, this dude's from fucking Australia. Like, this dude's from, like...
World got a little smaller, didn't it?
Yeah. I was like, holy shit. Like, he's just listening to our dumb podcast, and he's Western. If you're listening to this right now...
Weston.
Fuck you, Luke. His name's Western. He told me. He told me his name's Western. Western, if you listen to this, we appreciate you so much. And he was sitting there, like, trying to say things to me. Yeah, like, I can't believe how much... Luke, you absolute piece of garbage. But he was like, oh, it means so much to me that you're talking to me and shit like that. And I'm like, fuck that. Like, it means so much to me that somebody across the entire world, this dumb podcast where we're sitting here talking bullshit meant something to them. Like, it was a really positive thing.
Super cool. It's kind of surreal. I'm sure you get the same exact feeling, Jimmy, whenever you're tattooing someone. You see that tattoo art on them later down the road. Like, let's say you haven't seen them in a while. You fucking see that ink, and you're like, holy shit, I fucking did that. That's on them forever.
It is, man, but what really jumps out you more is whatever you may have talked with them about. You know what I mean? The experience.
Like, oh, yeah, how's so-and-so?
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Oh, man, it's crazy, wicked sense of humor. Somebody that, you may get this soccer mom, man, that, it's like, oh, man, she's going to be kind of stuffy. She's got the haircut or whatever. And you look up, man, she's just full of sass. And, you know what I mean? She got a house full of kids running around and stuff like that. And this is her little pay me back release. And, it's, she's got her funny kids shitting in the floor stories and stuff. You're like, it's just any of those little experiences like that. They're just all little stories.
It makes it worth doing, though.
Oh, 100%.
And without, kind of in the same way that without the people that love your art or like get a good reputation from your tattoo shop, you couldn't do your business without like these people continuously coming back, and without good reviews and people like spreading the word that the shit's good. And like we've got this dude Western that's on the other side of the world talking about how this is a fucking fun podcast to do, and the fact that we could have meant any difference in somebody's life, or that like
it floored me. It really did. I just thought that was super cool.
And, you're doing that for people.
Thanks, Western. Seriously.
And the one thing you guys are doing this with, that you're doing it with. You're doing it with content. You know what I mean? People aren't following you because of what you wear or how you wear your hair. You know what I mean? Or what jewelry, and you know what I mean?
Hawaiian
it's not
shirts.
that. So it's got to have stake there. It's got to have meaning. You know what I mean? Especially take somebody like that, like say on the other side of the world, man. You reach out and you grab that guy and you pulled him in enough that he watched all. Dude, think about that. He
It's like
watched
77
all
hours.
of your, right?
Double that. That's crazy.
No, this guy was hearing you. You know what I mean? He was feeling it. You know,
much love, man.
Man, that's big.
He was picking up what we were putting down.
Yeah.
The thing that I liked about him the most, I mean, he's got a video that I want to get into about, but first, the thing that I liked about him the most was
fucking learn how to talk, Cody.
Is that I'm a little drunk, but is that he liked Bright, and he wanted me to make sure to make a example.
No. Have you seen this fucking movie?
No.
Bright.
No.
Don't waste your time.
Okay. It's a great movie. Me and Luke both agree. And Western, our first Australian fan that's really reached out, I mean, he could agree as well that Bright was fantastic. And Pat is...
Did he say why?
Well,
did
Pat was
he
born
just say
disabled.
It was good?
And Pat having this extra chromosome that we all know about, I mean,
Caught
it
the
makes it
goofball?
difficult to understand good movies like Bright, right, Luke? So, like, Western... Me, Luke, we all understand good movies, but Pat,
don't get me started.
Okay.
Don't get me started.
Now, let me be clear. I like this film. It's a good film.
Are you turning to my side now?
No. I'm just saying I like it. It's a good film. I would recommend it. But would I watch it again after the first time? No.
I couldn't even finish it. It's so fucking bad.
But it wasn't.
But
that
it was a good
bad.
film.
It was
bad.
fine to watch.
Yeah, it's not nearly as bad as Pat makes it out.
What's
to
it
be.
based on, basically?
Okay,
fucking
so like
orcs and shit are living among people, and oh my god,
No,
Will Smith.
Okay,
Oh
so
my God.
imagine if the Lord of the Rings, right, was happening. Now, fast forward like 2,000 years into the future. So there's like a suburban neighborhood, and the raccoons are like fairies, and there's orcs there, and they're like minorities because
People are racist
they
towards
were
the orcs.
serving the Dark Lord way back then.
That they never mention or bring up again, really, in this whole fucking film that you never see. You don't know anything about.
Except they do bring them up.
Nah,
throughout the
yeah,
entire
they-
It
film.
makes
throw
me
my dad
happy
card
to
down
know
on this.
that.
Yeah, are you like, this sounds like a fucking dumb, fucking stupid film?
Yeah, I'm not much into those. Not
'Cause
cutting
it's
them. You know what I
stupid.
mean? They just don't hold my attention very well.
Dude, only lose.
See, man, I should be like the biggest Star Wars geek there was, man.
Oh, really?
77, that stuff. I was 7, dude. That was like right in my wheelhouse, and it was like,
Dude,
What's
Star
your
Wars,
shit? What's the
Star Wars
stuff that
great.
you really dig your teeth into, like cinematically?
man, I love underdogs, dude. I mean, big time. My favorite movie's Rocky. As generic as that sounds, then you hear the whole story behind the movie, man, and the original Rocky. The whole Cuff and Link and Cinderella Man. You know what I mean? Just
That's
the
a great
boxer
dude.
films.
Yeah,
Okay.
the underdog.
movie.
Oh yeah, any underdog.
Do you like The
movie
Fighter
that
with
way.
Christian Bale? And
Yeah. That was good. Yeah.
I thought that was
What
phenomenal.
about Southpaw?
I need to see that. I really
I
want to
haven't
see
seen that
that.
one.
It looks really good.
You
Jake
guys seen
Gyllenhaal?
Creed?
No.
Yes. Yeah.
I
didn't.
really liked Creed.
Yeah.
I like $1 Million Baby.
Dude, that was
That
a
was
good
a really
one.
good one.
That
That
was
a
so
really good one.
sad. I saw that in theaters, I think. With
You
my
just don't have a
dad
good
back in
sense
the
of
day.
humor.
Nah.
There was
You couldn't help but hate her mom, man. She was just.
She was a bitch.
Oh my god, yeah.
there was the one film. I'm blanking on the boxer's name, but he was on the top of his game, but then he fell off, and then he was in a car crash that fucked up his back, and he was like in a brace, and they were telling him he would never box again, but he was like in the brace in his basement.
Oh, that
at
sounds
his
like the Vinny
parents' house.
Pazienza story.
Yeah, it was him.
I
Yeah,
remember-
he's
I
like
remember
in
watching him fight. Yeah.
he's in a whole neck and spine brace in his parents' basements, bench pressing to get
Relearning.
himself back into form, and then he
Relearning
fucking-
how to suck his own dick, just really every day, just making it an
No,
inch
that
closer.
That
Yeah,
bad
they're playing that
motherfucker
music.
gets back in the ring and gets back that fucking belt, dude.
Yes.
That dude is a champion through and through.
Cool Hand Luke, man. Just the
That
underdog.
film is
man.
oh my
Take
god.
it off here, boss. Take it off there, drag line.
Oh yeah.
Taking it off here, boss.
See,
When he's sitting in that bed playing that little ukulele.
Only 5 more eggs stand between you and.
Eyes well, that just kills you.
I used to go to a Catholic school in Price Hill called Resurrection, and we used to have this really older man named Mr. Miller, who was the president at the time, and he had 2 nicknames for me whenever he saw me, and it was Howdy Doody.
My sneaky little partner.
From the old puppet show. He called me Howdy Doody, and he called me Cool Hand Luke.
There you go.
And for years, I never knew what it was. Never knew what it was.
Gee, a lot of hard boys.
Because he called me Cool Hand Luke since I was like in kindergarten, like I knew this guy forever. And then I finally saw Cool Hand Luke, and I was like, oh my god.
Oh, I love that movie.
Luke,
man
only
was
5 more
me-
eggs stand
5
between
more
you
eggs,
and
right.
everlasting glory. Pretend like they're pigeon eggs, Luke. Pigeon eggs, practically. Fish eggs, practically, Luke.
Man, that was a great
So,
George
like,
Kennedy.
why
It doesn't
dude.
make
That
any
was
sense,
point
though. Let's
on.
talk about that scene real quick.
No.
yeah.
My thing is he's looking at like a 5-year-old and thinking of that film and calling me Cool Hand Luke, and he's the president, or he's the principal of a children's school. So like, is he in his mind like the warden? Like, what was this guy's whole
He
idea?
could
Calling
see-
a
he could see
5-year-old
your,
Cool Hand
He's going to make
Luke.
you dig a hole and refill it back 4 times.
You know what
until
he
feel
used
like
to
you're gonna
do,
have to
though?
cry and beg for forgiveness.
He used to, and it was a reward. I would volunteer for it every time. He would pick me up and put me in the garbage cans to stomp down the
I'm
garbage
so
to
glad
make
you
some
said
more
garbage
room.
can.
Oh, you really love that.
Dude, he would give me giant chunks of chocolate.
Was
It
there a
awesome.
hole in the side of the garbage?
I don't know.
can?
I could make so many fucking jokes of this
Where he
whole
put his
situation.
lollipop in for you to suck on.
Yeah, Cool Hand
It's a
Luke.
lemon
Give me
flavor.
that
And don't
cool
ruin
hand-
Mr. Miller for me.
It's
Give me that
dark in
cool
here.
hand
He's a
job.
good guy.
Holy fucking shit.
Just let me see that howdy doody.
The thing about I wanted to get back to the scene about Cool Hand Luke though. For listeners that aren't familiar, Cool
One of the
Hand Luke's a
greatest
movie
prison
from
films of all time.
yeah. It's I don't know about that.
Never
but
seen it. I've never
It's
seen
a good
this movie.
first. It's a good
It's a
beginning.
great movie. Great movie.
I love it.
I'm
but
not gonna see it.
Shawshank's better.
I'm just. I'll go see it just for you.
Shawshank's way
Shawshank
better.
is really
Shawshank's so much better. But
I would put Life in front of.
I've never seen
Are these
it.
like
I've seen Life.
Hold on. Is this
Let's
a
do the-
trilogy? Is this a trilogy of movies? What
no,
are you guys talking
Cool
about?
Hand Luke is a movie that Paul Newman plays in with a bunch of other actors that are long dead and forgotten. I forget their names. But it's the movie starts off with Paul Newman out there and drunk as fuck in the middle of like who knows where, and it's night and he's cutting these parking meters down or whatever, and he's drunk as fuck, and then he gets caught doing this, and he gets sent to this prison. But it's not the way that you would think of a prison typically today. It's like a house almost in a work camp or whatever in the South. They've got a hot box that you stay inside of if you fuck up, and it's just a aluminum box you have to sit in and fucking almost cook like slow roasted chicken in, and then like you have a bunch of dudes sleeping in bunks or whatever, and you just do hard labor for like 9 hours to 10 hours a day.
They drop big rocks out on the road and they'd break them up and make them into little rocks. That's where your little.
That's the premise of the movie. And Luke comes in this prison. Paul Newman is Cool Hand Luke or whatever the fuck, and he's just the coolest motherfucker in there. Like he's just like he knows how to like.
Does he wear sunglasses or some shit?
No.
No, it's just like he
He's
just
the
knows.
only guy in prison with sunglasses.
He's cool.
No, just like everybody in the prisons, like he kind of proves himself and he's looking up to him. But there's a scene that they get to in the movie where they have the real badass gangster dude, and he's just like some fucking cornbread white dude with like
He's
blonde
like the
hair.
biggest,
tall as
toughest
fuck.
guy in the prison.
Yeah, and
let me guess, he beats him up.
No, well, he does it first, actually, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, that's the beginning of it. But then they become friends later, and they start getting into like some weird old school movie competition thing. Like they throw weird things in the older movies to where you're just like you don't even follow it, and like if you're watching it from a dude from living in 2019, watching a movie from '69, you're like, what the fuck are they talking
Nice.
about right now? But it's a conversation about who can eat the most hard boiled egg. And this dude, this big, like, blonde, corn-fed motherfucker from the South is like, my man Luke could eat more eggs than anybody.
George,
and they're like,
George Kennedy.
how many, what is it, 25 or 30?
Yeah,
what was
man,
it?
it was like 50 or 100. It was a shitload.
50 eggs. 50
maybe it was
hard
50,
boiled eggs. And Paul Newman's sitting there going, yeah. And then they show the part of the movie where he's eating them, his belly's getting distended. But all I could think about watching that scene in that fucking movie is just like, I can eat 2, maybe 3 hard-boiled eggs before I feel like I'm going to get a hernia and a chest burster egg alien's going to burst through my abdomen. Like, how the fuck is this man even think that he could get 4, 5, let alone 50 fucking hard-boiled eggs down? I'm sure you've got some hard-boiled egg experience.
No.
Like, you don't eat them?
No, I do, just nothing real big.
No, but what I'm saying is, like, how many could you fucking
Oh,
realistically
not even
eat?
close, yeah.
It's like 4 eggs at the most if I'm really getting crazy with it.
I mean, I could eat a dozen eggs. I fucking love eggs.
Dozen
I could eat
hard-boiled eggs?
Yeah, why not?
Hard-boiled with that dry, no salt, no fucking sauce. Just peel the shell off and eat that dry-ass center part.
Yeah, sure, why not? I'll have a nasty taste in my mouth for a hot minute, though.
12 of them? This man eats 50 of them.
A good salt shaker for sure.
Then he's given that thing that I quoted was that gangster dude, and he was like, "Come on, Luke, only 5 more eggs
Cool
stand
hand,
between
Luke,
you
have a
and
egg
everlasting glory," because he's about to make some money off of it or whatever is the gig. And then he's sitting there talking about like, those are just pigeon eggs, Luke. Fish eggs, practically, Luke.
You guys like
Just
this
get
movie?
them down now.
It's all about eggs.
I love this movie.
I didn't know he was gonna like detail the entire film.
I'm sorry.
I don't want to see it. It's all about
you
this
guys-
guy eating fucking hard-boiled eggs.
No, this is one little part of it.
Cool
but-
and Luke. His redemption. He's coming here to eat all the eggs.
You guys have never seen Life?
Never.
No.
What's
is
that shit about?
Is that movie with Jake Gyllenhaal?
Dude, all right, I'm just going to start off like this. All right.
Space
I
movie?
know what you're talking about. That's
Martin
not the
Lawrence,
movie.
Eddie Murphy, Bernie Mac.
Killer
dick's-
cast.
My
Okay.
dick is already rock hard.
Hey, I'm telling you,
Jimmy.
you'll cry. That's one of my
What is
favorite
it?
movies. It's called it's Life. It starts back like in the 30s, Prohibition. Man, it's a scream from one end to the other. I can't even remotely start to ruin it for you. Do yourself a favor and watch. You'll cry.
Oh, I'll check that
You will
out. That
cry
cast
laughing.
sounds insane.
Yes, it's awesome. I mean, it is absolutely awesome.
You can't tell me anything?
Man,
Is it about life?
I
Is
can
it
tell
about
you.
life, the
I can
game?
tell you something
You're gonna
about
go
the
from
cast.
you're gonna go from the 30s all the way up to like the 90s.
So it's like going through time.
Yeah. Oh man, it's so good. It
That's
is
the
so,
best
so good.
prison movie
Interesting.
that you can think of?
The best part of the movie I could think of.
No, I said that's the best
The
prison
breast.
movie. The breast.
The best prison movie. Yeah.
The
Yeah,
breast.
I like laughing. You know what I mean? Yeah, I would definitely say my favorite prison movie would definitely be. Man, it's tough.
Yeah.
That and Cool Hand Luke, they're right there.
Cool
But I
hand
like
Luke.
laughing.
He wants these eggs.
What about
He'll
Shawshank?
show you.
How's
Man, it was
Shawshank
good.
hold up for you?
It was good. It was definitely good.
Is it Shawshank Redemption or is it just called Shawshank?
Redemption, yeah, Shawshank.
Oh, that's a good ass movie.
Yeah.
That's a really good movie.
What fucking... I'm drunk, but what movie is just called Shawshank, my friend?
I don't know. That's why I was like, what are you guys fucking talking about?
never
Cool hand
seen-
Luke.
Is that
about a
why
guy
you
eating
asked if it
hard-boiled
was
eggs.
a trilogy? Because you thought
Yeah, I was like-
Shawshank was part
like,
1 and
take
Shawshank
more-
Yeah, you're not.
Redemption.
I'm
He
like,
just
what
fucked
are
up
you
his
talking
words.
about?
Nobody broke his balls about it.
Shut up, Cody. I mean, I'm trying to figure out like what
Hey, I'm
we're
breaking
talking
them right
about.
now.
I thought it was.
Jesus.
I thought it was a trilogy.
Well,
God,
you're
you're an
wrong.
idiot.
And on that note, let's take a break. We're at about an hour.
Yeah,
Let's
you want to
jump
get
back
into
this
some
shit.
like some crazy fucking videos we haven't pulled up in a while?
Yeah, dude. Let's
We
jump
come
to
back
watch
from
some
this
crazy
break, we'll
shit.
start getting weird, and we'll make a couple announcements along with our sponsor.
Sick.
All right, fuckfaces, we're back. And as always, when we're back, Luke doesn't have his headphones on yet because he's a rebel. I mean, that's just
I
when
do
he-
what I want
Yeah, we
Dude's such
we
a
see
hard
that,
ass.
Luke.
when I want it.
Yeah,
What
he
a
sat
savage.
back with his fucking legs kicked up. He pulled his dick out and made us all look at it and shit like that, and we weren't allowed to say anything because we started recording.
Cool
You know what I was
Luke.
I'll
doing?
break the silence.
I was scratching at the scabs on my spider bite because I got more.
Right, and we'll get into that spider bite and how you're constantly being
Always
attacked by a
getting bit.
voracious army of fucking tarantulas.
Yeah, but
Right after this read from our sponsor, check out KTNO or Kneel to No One. That's Anthony Tank Mansfield. You can find all of his awesome merch, glassware, enamel pins, and custom art after the summer. He's not doing custom art right now.
Do you
at
like glass?
KneelToNoOne.com. That's KNEELTONOONE. Pat?
Do you like glass? Do you like art? Then go hit him up. And then
thought
me. Oh yeah. So, anyways, we
I
got
thought
some.
you were gonna get so much more dramatic.
Nah,
That was
that's it.
such a weird fucking commercial voice you
Pat
just
just
did
threw
there.
the Kramer slide into my ad read real quick. Hold on a minute. What's going
I
on,
was like, why are
Jerry?
you giving it to me?
No,
Seriously,
'cause you
check out
hit-
his fucking shit. I love his artwork. Go fucking check that out. Go fucking follow him on social media. Go get some shirts.
He makes this amazing glassware that we're using.
Get some stickers. Get a coaster.
That's what I'm drinking this beer out of right now. He's got these Samurai Sifter 16-ounce glasses, the Hop Thulu glasses that Jimmy has over there.
I'm always drinking water out of them.
Great designs. I mean, it holds up to a pint of beer. It's a fucking fantastic thing to drink out of.
What alcohol would you drink out of one of those, Jimmy? What's the perfect alcohol for that cup?
For this?
Yeah, right off the top of your head.
Man, I would say beer.
Beer. There you say it. There you go. It's perfect for beer.
You hear it? For beer.
It's perfect for beer. Jimmy said it here first.
Pat really knows how to sell something.
Yeah.
It's perfect for beer, and that makes it like perfect for beer and stuff. So,
all right, now let's skip over Pat's awkward plug for Anthony.
This is Cody's fault for putting it on my plate.
No, you did. You dug your own grave.
You jumped right in there and fell I wouldn't even say fell, like more like rode a roller coaster into your grave.
It was like whoa, and then you just like
hold on, Cody.
Like rolled 10 feet for no reason, tripping over yourself, and then just plummeted 6 feet into the dirt hole.
What can I say, guys?
Now we're filling it back up.
What can I say?
Anyways, we got some news, ladies and gentlemen. We got merch. It's finally here.
What
we got
kind
t-shirts.
of merch, Luke?
We have black t-shirts with the black and white design on the breast and on the back.
Luke says with his teeth gritted.
I wanted color, but they look great. They look fantastic. I love them. Cody's wearing them right now. Show it off, Cody.
All right. Well, describe it as I show it to the camera.
We've got the Bastard Sermon as you know it and love it. We've got the Bastard Priest with his jug right on the breast. We've got its turnaround code. We've got it blown up on the back so you know what it is. We got the Bastard Sermon podcast shown up. Same old. We got Jimmy over here bought his own, and we got Saporn. We got hers being sent home with him, because they're for really sure nice. Buying one. Really nice. If you want one, get in contact with us. We'll figure it out. Yeah.
I just
buy our stuff. Buy our merch. We can say that now. Buy our merch.
Buy our merch.
We don't have a web store yet, but just get a hold of us. We'll fucking DM us.
We'll probably, I know I will. I'll probably give you a pin for free with the t-shirt.
TheBastardSermon@gmail.com. If you guys want to reach out for anything, reach out right there. Send us an email. Find us online and shit like that. It'd probably be easier just to send that email, though. Yes. Yeah, we'll check that, and we'll take your merch orders there.
Yeah, or just messages.
International orders, something different, we'll have to talk with you about and whatnot. But if you're local, dope. We can get it to you a lot easier that way.
Absolutely. Support these guys, man. They're doing a good thing. They're a great group of guys. Support them. Thank you. Anything else.
Thank you.
And go to fucking Jimmy's shop and get a dope tattoo from any of the phenomenal artists that they have there. I mean, they've got Mike Dunn. They've got Saforeign Long or Soapy. They've got, you're up there, Jimmy. You're tattooing. Jimmy Howell. He's legendary. Everybody fucking loves this guy. No, I know that, I'm not trying to suck your dick too hard right now, but really, you're a respected artist in the tattooing community, I feel like.
Yeah, I appreciate
And that's a quality shop. People leave there with great ink. Luke, didn't you get that tattoo on?
I have 2 pieces from Saforeign.
Yeah.
I have a forearm piece, and I have a big old thigh piece.
Yeah, I got a bear.
And you got that snake that time.
And a snake.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
No, I appreciate it.
Shop.
We appreciate the support for sure.
Go out there and fucking check his shit out as well while we're doing plugs. All right. Let's jump right into some
And
bullshit.
with that, you got the Cincinnati Convention coming up the end of August. That Labor Day weekend right there. So...
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's gonna
check
be
it out.
Dope. I gotta go to that. I love
conventions.
conventions.
100%. Yeah,
I love all conventions.
Yeah,
to support.
Brian Soap and myself will be tattooing.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, Brian Howell, your son. He's a great tattoo artist.
Yeah,
up at the shop
Manny's
as well.
doing really good. Really
go
good.
Get a tattoo from him also. Look up all these guys' art, and I'm sure that everybody will find somebody for them at the shop. There's so many good artists.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
And not everybody's art style is going to be perfect for everyone, but you have an art direction from every different kind of style that somebody could go to your shop and get whatever they're looking for. I can't plug it enough. Go check out the Pike Tattoo Company in Cold Springs, Kentucky.
You really do have such a solid and diverse team.
Thanks. I appreciate it. I'm very fortunate for sure. Very fortunate.
Mm-hmm. Right on. All right, plugs aside, let's jump right into some nonsense. Pat insisted that this was the first one. Pat set the shit up.
Yeah, so outside, before we came back from break, we were talking about how crazy fucking drones were and all these kinds of things. But people
and Jimmy came up with a brilliant drone idea.
Do you want to share that online for everyone to steal your idea?
No, don't.
Before you patent it, or you could make any money off of it, would you like to see some fuckhead make money off your
100%? Yeah,
and not be able to fight them in court over it?
Yeah, we may need to run security on what we got already.
So,
right?
Pull it back, fellas. Pull it back.
So this there was a guy who owned a drone and a couple of fireworks, and he was a little annoyed by some loud music. So he decides to use that drone and the fireworks combined to shoot fireworks at the public.
Holy cow!
Yeah, like why? What the fuck makes you want to do something like that?
Is there sound on this video? Or
You have cocksucker neighbors.
I mean, that's kind of fucked up, isn't it? I
Oh
mean,
my
those are
God.
explosives. Would you ever shoot a firework at someone?
110%. I already have.
Yeah.
Dude, you've never played fucking like Roman candle wars
Yeah, I was
with
just
your
gonna say,
dickhead
I've-
friends in the
Man,
woods?
look here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna relate this to licking butt, man. Somebody's gonna take us a little step farther. The next guy's gonna take it a little step farther. And it's gonna be something that ain't a firework. It's gonna be something that's really gonna hurt somebody.
That's true.
Yeah.
And now you don't even know who in the hell flew that thing. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be a lot harder to find that guy.
Yeah, it's kind of fucking scary. It's kind of
You can
fucked
tell you
up.
what's really scary, man. Is
Licking buttholes.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, I went out. Yeah. But
I'm
you know,
with
they
you.
always talk about the nuclear war. You know what I mean? These big missiles and stuff coming across, and it always seems like some kind of Japanese fable where you look up, man. They could, somebody could sit and just build like millions of these things, and they all have a, you know what I mean? Finneytown gets 4. They build so many of them. And they don't have to have a great big payload like that. But you look at it, and it'd just be a wave that you couldn't take them off. Man, that would be scary because that is absolutely doable.
You mean like they launch all the nukes at once?
No, man, like of all of these drones, man, they don't have to, like the small drones like that. You look up, they just carried a certain amount of it, of explosives, you know what I mean? Look up, and they would come off in a wave.
Yeah,
like
just
that.
create a giant like swarm.
Yeah,
of
how do you
drones.
fight that? Yeah, you know what I mean? A big rocket, you could shoot out of the air with.
You'd have to do like an electromagnetic pulse, but that would like kind of cripple yourself. I feel
That would
like.
cripple all of humanity.
Yeah.
Would it really like fuck?
Yeah.
An
is
EMP,
it?
yes, of course, an
Well,
EMP
yeah.
would
How
shut
does it
down.
happen like Pearl Harbor
I mean,
where they
yeah.
went, boom.
It kills, it wipes hard drives.
It
bro.
kills-
Okay, so
Hold on. Let me get this straight. A EMP is going to knock it out for a specific area, yeah, of course. But do you think it's going to fuck shit up just having no power for a couple of hours?
It
So
will
the
destroy
EMP
literally
is a-
everything that you have stored on any hard drive in that area over the course of the entire electromagnetic pulse range, which is what EMP stands for. It's going to knock everything out. So everything that's stored in that way digitally, which most shit is, if you drop one of those in an information center where you have the majority of your central intelligence and all this shit like this, yes, it would disrupt a lot of things that a lot of governments are doing in
It makes
general.
computers blow up, is what you're saying.
It doesn't make them blow up as much as it just like shuts them down and takes all the information off of them because it's an electromagnetic pulse, meaning that it's carrying like a magnetic wave through the air that will, have you ever put a magnet on a computer and watch it fuck up shit, or like on one of the old style fucking those fat monitor screens? You put it on there and it makes it all staticky, or you put it on a TV and it does that through the air across all technology and everything. It shuts cars down, car batteries go out, shuts everything down. It shuts walkie-talkies down, it shuts all the most baseline shit down if it's not buried in some type of like storage containment like thing.
See, and that's the day and age we live in, man. It's not about fire no more. Now it's something totally different.
Yeah.
Cyber
You know what I mean?
war.
Scary
It's like
shit.
hell.
Scary shit.
I bet. Have you seen those? What are they? Dyson? What the fuck are the robot? Bryson? What are the big robots that are?
Boston Dynamics.
That's it. I don't know why I fucking was
Bryson
thinking.
Dyson?
I don't.
The
I thought it was
vacuums?
something
He was
like
thinking
that.
of Miles Dyson from Terminator 2.
He was thinking of the Dyson vacuums.
Skynet.
I would love to believe.
I was like, "There's no way, right? Is it? I don't know. I could not remember. It was Boston Dynamics, so I was just mixing them up. But anyways,
Did you see
that
that
shit's kind
video
of
that you
fucking
got-
crazy.
The video recently that that one special effects artist team actually pranked everybody with about that robot that you could hit with like a hockey puck,
Yeah.
and it was like moving the box. It was just a special effects like joke that people were doing.
Yeah, that was very fake. Absolutely. But
No,
they
it looked
can
real as
fucking
fuck.
run
They did a
around and
great
That
shit.
robot wasn't real?
No. There are robots that are real. They like the dog ones and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
there was one in particular that like it ended with the robot taking the gun and it cuts off as they're marching people out or whatever the fuck, and you're like, what the fuck happened? And it turned out to just be like a prank by these guys that are like, they're a very famous YouTube stream. I forget the name. It's like CFX or something like that, where they like took like the shittiest all time
CGI with the Scorpion,
things.
The Rock. It was the Scorpion.
Exactly.
King.
It's the same dudes that did that, and then they take a Boston Dynamics, which is an actual, I think, a university in Boston that does like.
I don't know. It's
robotics.
Dyson. It's like something to do with vacuums, bro.
I don't believe it is, Patrick. I think that it's like high class robots.
It's a vacuum company, bro.
Okay. I see what you're saying. I see what's happening here.
But go on.
God, yeah. The Boston Dynamics guys are the ones that do these fucking things that you're like, these are Terminators in the making. Why are you doing this, fellas? And all the smartest dudes on the face of the planet are telling you, don't do it. Don't fucking do it. Bill Gates is telling you, nuh-uh, don't do that shit. Like Stephen Hawking before he died was like, nah, they were all trying to like form some type of coalition against like artificial intelligence and like putting that into different types of robots.
Dude, it's scary. Like when you like I forget who I was watching on YouTube talk about it, but they were saying like, shut the fuck up, Patrick. But they were saying like it wouldn't be a matter of them looking at us as like a threat or a germ. It's like, you know how we have no problem wiping out an anthill to build a highway?
We don't hate the ants, they're just in the way.
Yes, exactly.
That's the way that the machines would look at you, basically. Like, I'm not going out of my way to hurt you, but if you're in the way, fuck it. Blam! Everybody's dead to make some new thing for the machines. And it's like, what if the machines decide that they're the ones that they're going to be taken care of, and they form their own type of...
Yep.
This is super stoner
Jimmy's
talk.
looking back and forth.
It's scary,
like,
ain't it?
What the fuck?
Man, no, you just keep kind of trying to relate it back. You know what I mean? This would be like trying to tell somebody about the first passenger airplane. How many of us, and we're going to do what?
Yeah.
Right.
Talking to the dude, the first time he's going to jump out of a plane. Is it like social media now? You try to reach back and everything like that. It's where it's like, could you imagine like when the telephone first come through?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now you don't have to, take
first
all this
phone?
time. Yeah. Then you got the operator lady, she's like the first gossip lady that's hearing all this shit. So she's like the first actual piece of social media
Fucking
that she
electricity?
knows. Well, yeah, she knows about, what you're going through and what you're going through, and she can gossip. It's just funny how and we're just at another phase of it. We automatically see the bad, you know what I mean, to where it's just robots, and you look up, maybe these things are walking in and or doing some kind of crazy ass awesome surgery, or just you never know what it's going to go to that way.
I mean, there's machines out there doing surgeries.
Yeah.
I bet like that was never thought of back in the day. Like what? Like fucking robots are doing surgeries on me?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all crazy. I mean, it's definitely a real possibility. I don't think we have anything really to worry about unless there's some sort of malfunction ever. But I mean, how hard? How fucking hard it is to probably create artificial intelligence. I mean, are they really making progress? Or are they really just like it's just a bunch of just fucking pre-communicated things they've already had on there, and it's just communicating and like how they respond to each other by probability? Who the fuck knows?
The fun thing to me though is how much we're all still wired to be cave people, because this video is proof of that. Like, no matter how far we advance, we've got drone technology you can look through. You could fly miles away from your house. You could view everything, videotape it all, record it. What's this dickhead figure out how to do? He figures out how to strap fucking rockets to it and shoot his neighbors in the face with it, be a cocksucker and a half, and people... It's like, even if you have the most complicated technology, we're always going to figure out a way to destroy each other with it. Like, that's what, to me, just shows us that we're not ready for what our brain's capable of doing, almost.
Yeah, we're way ahead of our time, I think. It's kind of crazy.
I'll tell you one I think it's going to end up showing up. It's going to be like, we'll just say construction, for instance, just because that's what I'm most familiar with. You would look up and like, say, we're going to go out as a crew and we're going to go do this task. A lot of times they'll give you a radio, a contact radio. If you need anything, holler back and forth that way.
Yeah.
You turn around, look up, and they give you like a drone or two drones to wherever you're working. And, you got one up, one's charging, back and forth. You think insurance-wise, liability-wise, any of that would be huge, because now as, let's say, a supervisor, I could have a group of guys up on the third floor, second floor, first floor, this and that. I can be seeing things in real time. You know what I mean? I could talk to them. Hey, hold up on that. They don't have this connection made, whatever, vice versa, and it's in real time. Not back through a radio, Yeah. Then like saying you got the safety-wise, hey, you need to tie off, or hey, look at your footing here, or whatever. It's going to be a real big, I think it's going to be big.
I think what's going to be crazy, and I just thought of this, is like when it comes to communication cybersecurity and shit like that with drones. I mean, yeah, what if they're just going to get smaller?
Oh,
what if they're so small that you don't even know that they're even in the room?
Right. People are working on nanomachines. That's a real thing.
Yeah, wasn't it something like for mosquitoes, and there was also one for like replacing bees if that ever happened. Like they're working on something like solar fluttering bees that help pollinate shit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's like legit or not, but I've read about this.
It's crazy to me that they're like, well, we have to figure out a solution because nobody else is gonna.
They're
like, we got to do robo bees. Like, dude, how about we focus on keeping the bees? Like, can we do something to do that? Nope, easier to make robot bees.
As someone who's allergic to bees, and if they are just as efficient.
Until they're being used as like radio surveillance devices for like everything that you're doing. They're in the room with you while you're beating off to whatever weird porn you like to come to.
I mean, if that's what they want to
watch,
if that's what they want to spend their time watching.
Let's go there. All right. I don't give a fuck what the fuck Facebook is really looking at my shit. Like, what am I fucking talking about? I understand that I need my privacy, but I'm like,
the point is
what,
they
if they're
shouldn't
watching,
be doing it.
if they're accessing my camera, I mean, yeah. But I'm like, what the fuck about my life do they give a fuck about?
The point isn't like, oh, if you're not up to no good, then what are you worried about?
Gotta keep an eye on Cody Hucker.
The point is, why you gotta be in a room watching me jerk off to weird porn? Like, why is that? That's where the argument starts. It's not like, oh, I don't care. They can watch whatever they want to see, and I'm up to no good. And no, the point is, they shouldn't be looking. Fuck them.
But see, here we are. This is one of those things where I think you got to give up some room on this, because think about this. What if they had that kind of technology and you had 9/11 and they picked up that just all, you know what I mean? If it was that easy to get into where they could look through any camera or whatever, man, that could have been stopped.
Right.
Sure, but it also could have been stopped after they gave
I get
them the
that you want your
warnings
privacy.
that it was
I feel like
2
this
weeks
is-
before
I think
it
that's
happened.
that's where they use it. I don't think they use it.
Yeah, why
for,
would they fucking there's millions of people, 300 million people plus million people in the United States. You think there's 300 million people
whatever
watching this at all
weird
times?
porn you're watching, there's about like 100,000 other weird dudes in their basement also watching.
Cody's just worried about the porn he watches.
No. I don't.
Yeah, he's totally worried about that.
No, I talk about it openly
Jimmy's
on the
got
internet.
a point. Like, if
Trust me, I'm not worried
if
about
I
it.
knew if I knew the government was gonna watch me and my weird porn meant for the possibility that they could then save lives and prevent a future catastrophe, then I'm all for them.
Right.
Watching
Yeah,
me and
like,
You know
my
what?
what
If
the
you're
fuck
doing
do they
bad,
care
if you're
about what I'm
doing
doing?
bad shit that you need to worry about that, I hope they catch you.
Not bad
Yeah.
shit, but just
Cody.
like
You know what I mean? I hope they catch you.
Oh my
Jesus.
God, what? You're such a criminal.
Anything
my
else
guy.
is really just going to be embarrassing. You know what I mean?
What kind
That's
of
the
dark
thing.
web shit are you doing in that
What
basement?
porn
my
are you
guy?
whacking off to?
Jesus Christ, fellas.
Don't be ashamed of it. You can come out now.
No, not to be ashamed of. I'm saying
He's
like the
ashamed.
reason.
Why are you
to-
sweating?
Well, I would say it's probably the temperature of the room. Me personally,
Anyway.
yeah.
as a lawyer and self-prosecutor, I would say the temperature of the room. No, there's nothing that I'm watching that's too crazy as much as, like, I just don't want, that's a private moment. Like, I don't want to be in the room watching me jerk off to something or monitoring what I'm doing online. Like, yeah, there's exceptions for actual criminals and shit like that, but then you obtain a warrant and you get that exception. Like, you don't just get to monitor everybody just because you might be up to no good. Because we've all done shit that's illegal a bunch of times, but, like, not been fucked up members of society. Like, if you keep going after the light turns red, but there's nobody on either side. So you've been sitting there, it's a dark country road, it's a red fucking stoplight, you've been there for forever, you run that light. Well, it could be something as small as that or as small as smoking weed, where you're just like, this isn't really a crime. Like, I'm just doing what I want to do. You shouldn't be being monitored overall, because then they will stack up the shit that you're doing in general. And yeah, you will catch more criminals, but you will sacrifice everybody's freedom to privacy by doing that. And I think that that's where the conversation starts, is like, you shouldn't treat everybody as criminals just because there are criminals. You should just get better at catching criminals, I guess.
Yeah, but man, you look at what some of the stakes are. You know what I mean? Let's say hypothetical. We'll throw just the horrific ones out there. The elementary school shootings. Anything like that right there, where that could be picked up. You know what
It
I
would
mean?
be really fucking annoying by having a conversation about a movie and you say the word gun or something, and then all of a sudden the recording starts and then you're
It's a process, though. You know what I mean? To where they can narrow that down. None of it's a perfect science.
Like, what's their
first.
history? What do they normally talk about? Okay.
Right.
Skip.
Yeah.
But then they see Cody's like web search history and
And it's like,
you're probably
alcohol, tranny, alcohol, foot porn, alcohol.
I think it's one of them to where it's not the fact that
Doug Stanhope's dicks.
It's not the fact that I think that they survey everybody, but I think they ought to have the right to. Let's say that you're tracing something, you know what I mean, and you come up as somebody of interest, you know what I mean. He knows something about the shooting or the drugs or whatever, where they could come in and I don't have a problem with it.
Are the school shootings, I feel like this is a weird subject to go to, but I haven't heard about a school shooting in a while. I mean,
they're still happening.
Are we that jaded that it's just not on the news anymore, or is it still like a weekly, monthly thing that was going on?
Dude,
for
Google
like
it right now.
Look up the nearest. I'm curious. Am I right? Have you heard about any school shootings lately?
No, I haven't.
Latest school shooting.
It's kind of fucked up. We're being watched right now through the webcam.
This was from May 9th, 2019, and it says, here's the list of school shootings so far in 2019.
Let's see.
January 31st, Memphis. A 14-year-old Manassas high school in Memphis was shot with a pellet gun at school. Oh, pellet gun, Jesus. Baltimore, a man entered Frederick Douglass High School and shot and injured a staff member. Property and students, blah, 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 blah. February 12th, Kansas.
Blah, blah,
There's
blah,
so many.
Get to closer our time.
This man just blah, blah, blah over a man's death.
God.
He comes in, shoots, blah, 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 blah. Who cares, blah, blah, blah.
I'm just saying, this was something that wasn't prevalent back. Columbine was such an event because it had never happened before. It wasn't that it was the craziest shooting of all time. It's that, you never saw some people come in with, military tactics like that and fucking trying to blow the school up and, doing this crazy weird shit.
Where's the focus?
But now everybody's doing it. And it's,
It used to be the Bloods and Crips, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't hear about that no more.
Now it's just the nerdy kid.
You know what I mean?
It still
is.
happens.
It's these phases. It just keeps kind of going. It just kind of keeps going through like that.
No, but it keeps happening on all these fronts. But everybody's like, we talked about this to death. And they just let it keep happening. They just don't talk about it anymore. So it seems like the new thing. Now there's so many, there's so much access to a bunch of media coverage of a bunch of events that everything seems like it's going to be important. But it isn't. It's just fucking what bleeds is what leads. That's what the saying is in media. They're like, whatever's the top bleeder, whoever died the most, or whatever's the most graphic shit, that's what we're going to focus on and act like it's a national issue. And really it isn't. It's just some crazy shit that is happening.
It was a tragic 6-year-old Melinda died. What is that? 2 planes flew into a building. Anyways, fuck this bitch. We got 9/11.
Yeah,
like that type of scenario.
When you got so much, you know what I mean? It's like drinking from a fucking fire hydrant, man. It's like,
yeah.
So a lot of times, you want to try to get out of the bitterness. You want to look for good stuff and fun stuff. You know what I mean? So and you got the option to dodge that now. It's not like you got 2 channels growing up.
Yeah.
Now, I think what relates to this best is I felt like a relevant video for what we're talking about right now.
Yes.
Is
yes.
Since we're getting so serious.
So did you know?
Here's a dog.
So this is relevant.
Did you know that dogs, when they bark, they put a lot of pressure on their asshole, and whatever's in there will squirt out?
Me too.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, here's actually a video of Jimmy Howell on the beach right now. Wow, that's way too loud. Man. That's way too loud.
It projectile spits out shit water.
So this dog is on the beach soaking wet, and whenever he barks, his ass turns into a super soaker.
Never seen a dog do that.
They do it every time they bark.
And squirts water out of his butt. That's a black lab. That looks like a bigger version of my dog.
Cushion.
What did he do to get it in
there? It does look
there?
like Den, doesn't it?
A larger version of Den, but without the legendary white spot on the chest.
Look at that every time. Like a super soaker.
Yeah.
How much water's up his ass?
How'd it get there?
I don't know. Just fucking dog assholes are weird, I guess.
Dog assholes are weird?
Yeah, right,
Yep,
Luke?
Explanation. Scientists have come up with a solution. Dog assholes are weird.
How was that relevant, though?
It wasn't. I was just, we were getting so serious, and I was like, let me turn this to dog asshole.
Oh, that's cool. Let's go into animals and shit. Let's see some shit, dude.
Run the thing. I know you want to. Come on.
The what thing? Yeah. All right. Yeah, I can't wait. Sweet. This is so
now
weird.
he's got the controls.
You ever seen how fucking scary hippos are?
Oh yeah, dude, they're wicked bad.
Dude, I saw this fucking video. Basically, it was a hippo, quote unquote, saving an antelope. Where basically there was an antelope trying to get away from some painted dogs. All right, God knows where. And then, like as they're going through, the antelope gets stuck in this little mud crevice where there's an hippo lounging, getting a little mud bath, and the dogs can't get to him, and then this shit happens.
And
yeah,
full screen.
Oh wow.
So it's just sitting there in the. I mean, hippos are fucking scary, man. They eat their own fucking young. They don't give a shit, man.
they are vicious.
This thing just lays down next to him in the middle of this muddy creek, and then one of the hyenas comes up from the front, and the hippo kind of chases it away, and then the hippo comes over with his big ass jaws and just starts chomping at this deer.
Dude, that's kind of fucked up. I mean, that antelope is sitting there in the mud, being just dead surrounded, and the scariest fucking thing in front of them is this.
They're being
look
torn
at this
apart,
thing.
but it's being torn apart, or it's about to be torn apart by these hyenas, and this hippo just comes up and mercy kills it. Like, comes up and jacks it, just like rips it apart.
That wasn't a mercy kill. That was just straight up, I don't like you, get the fuck out of here, and I'm gonna kill the shit out of you.
No, that was a mercy kill.
That's a
sure.
mercy kill.
It's a
you want to
fucking
get
animal.
No, those hyenas are gonna pick that antelope apart slowly.
Okay, before you start
One bite
saying
at a
that they
time.
are animals and they don't have any reasoning, I will forever point to Coco the gorilla. Forever.
What?
Forever.
The one that learned sign language,
Yeah,
right? And talked to
she
Robin
learned
Williams. and
sign
shit.
language, and she was able to articulate her feelings and thoughts
About life and death.
and everything. Her day, she could speak to the caretakers about what she wanted to eat and when. She was able to communicate sign language. She was a gorilla, and she was capable of communicating like this. I don't care. I'm just saying.
He's saying that you're talking about animals, and we're talking about animals right now. So it's like you don't know what they could be experiencing inside of their brains. Like
you don't know what they're capable of.
Yeah, exactly. But I think that this seemed like the hippo being like, because he tried to free the hippo, and the hippopotamus, or not, tried to free the antelope. The hippo did.
I'm gonna be honest. Mercy killing in the animal kingdom.
What if it was a sacrifice,
bro? Okay,
could be a sacrifice.
Take your shit and go away.
Get
I
the
don't
fuck out of
with you.
that.
Those
that
hyenas will eat them alive.
But
until
empathy
you're dead.
in an animal that's in the animal kingdom, like a hippo, one of the most vicious animals on the planet, having empathy towards anything. No, I bet that thing was like, get the fuck out of here. You're annoying me right now. I'm gonna fucking kill anyone that's near me.
Yeah.
I think that not a fucking animal, not an intelligent chimpanzee or a gorilla that can do sign language.
Hippos are dangerous, yes, but I don't think they're fucking apex predators ready to murder everything around them.
They're more dangerous than lions and tigers, and
more people
I
die from
understand,
them.
but I don't
They're
think
not
that thing was going to
predator
go into
animals,
a
and they're
berserker kill and just murder
they kill more
everything.
people in Africa than
look up the how many people are killed by hippos every year.
All of them.
I bet if you, dude, have you ever seen like a fucking watermelon? Like
I
you
doubt somebody was riding a bike and got attacked by a hippo.
Yeah, that'd be some shit.
Like what?
Dude, that'd be fucked up though if they get you in their mouth.
Oh yeah,
stretch you up. Like I remember seeing videos of like hippos getting fed watermelons and they crush it like it's nothing. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And they eat their own. They'll eat their own too. Like if they want to get like, I guess they're like really horny all the time, and they want to go around and try to get laid by the mom who's already got a kid. Kid hippo, whatever you want to call it, little Fiona. It will eat little Fiona to fuck the mom.
Wow.
Why? That's fucked up.
That's horrible.
No,
that's horrible. And then like I don't know, man. I don't think there's a lot of empathy out there.
Hippopotamus kill an estimated 500 people per year in Africa. Hippos are aggressive creatures, and they have very sharp teeth.
That's
They're
up to 200.
They kill the fuck out of people.
750 kilograms. A kilogram is about 2.2 pounds. So multiply that by 2.2. It's probably like somewhere in the ballpark of a 3-ton animal that you're talking about. A small car. Or a big car, actually. 6 tons is a big car. I mean, that's a lot of fucking weight.
There was a video game I played recently called Hitman 2. And the way you're
Never
supposed to,
heard of
you're an assassin and you kill people. And there's like one scene where you can go and get rid of bodies by throwing them in a little hippo lair, and the hippo will eat them. I don't think they would do that unless like these hippos were straight up.
Yeah, they would. If you threw somebody into their little thing.
Yeah, they'd eat it. But I'm saying like I don't think they would really come off as like gentle creatures if you could do that in a game or something like a meat-eating animal. You never
Who
thought a
thinks of
fucking
a
hippo was a
hippo?
meat eater, would you?
No.
Who thinks of a hippo as a easygoing creature? I think run, don't fuck with that animal.
And then we romanticize Fiona.
I'm sure they kill, but I don't think they're out here killing humans and then eating them for their meal.
No, they just kill them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's probably stress eating
They're not
or something.
carnivorous, I don't think. Or
No, they
if
totally
are.
are. They're carnivorous.
What?
They are.
Not fully. I would say what is the in
They're
between?
just cannibalistic.
They're omnivore. I would say because absolutely. Look it up.
Okay.
Look it up. I bet I'm right.
The whole thing's just gonna be me looking up.
Do hippos eat
facts.
people?
I mean,
Do
the
hippos
people need
eat
to
people?
know.
That's what I'm gonna look up, Luke. Thanks.
do hippos eat meat?
I would
Yeah,
say
but-
Jim Carrey would have to be in my favorite hippo scene of all time.
That's
Where
a
he comes out
rhino
of his
scene.
asshole.
That's
The rhino scene?
110%.
Oh my
fact.
god.
The rhino, yeah, damn.
When he comes out of the fucking asshole of that thing.
Yeah.
That was one of the funniest things
Oh,
I've
man.
ever seen
it's
on
giving
television.
birth or
To
some
it.
shit.
Oh,
The
yeah.
arm comes out. He's just wiggling it around.
There's this video going around where Jim Carrey is acting like Jack Nicholson in The Shining, and it's a take for take, shot for shot looking thing.
What?
It's crazy.
I wanna see it.
And you know what I want to see is I want to see the reverse, where Jack Nicholson, being as old as he is, does the rhino scene. You know,
I heard they were gonna be doing another movie that was supposed to be the sequel to The Shining.
yeah, that's coming out. It's called Doctor Sleep, right? Yeah, it's
But
Doctor
Jack
Sleep.
Nicholson's not gonna be a part of this fucking.
No, it's Ewan
He's
McGregor.
dead at the end of The
right?
Shining.
The guy, Ewan McGregor, he played Obi-Wan Kenobi in the prequels.
And he was in Train Spotting, yeah.
Yeah, and a bunch of he's a good actor, but it's just kind of weird to think
He's
of him
always in
as a
those
horror
Jesus memes on Facebook,
Yeah.
and old people pass it on because they think it's supposed to be Jesus.
I
And
wonder
you're
why.
Some
What
dude.
the fuck about him?
My
makes
mom
it-
does it, and I laugh my ass off. I'm like, Mom,
Was-
it's
It's because of
Anyway.
Big Fish or whatever the
Right,
fucking
yeah.
movie was.
Yeah,
Or some
yeah.
Shit. Oh, he was in Big Fish. He's a good old boy.
No,
Yeah.
the reason they do it is because they take the Obi-Wan Kenobi pictures and him without the lightsaber they say is Jesus.
Yeah.
And the meme is dudes will have go to their
Yeah.
grandma's house and somebody came up with a picture of Obi-Wan Kenobi
Yeah.
as Ewan McGregor and he's just up there with the cross and shit like that and the crown of thorns. What the fuck?
Because there's I bet if they really knew, if they really thought Ewan McGregor was a hardcore Christian or something, I'm sure they haven't seen all of his movies. There was a movie
There's
with Jim
no way
Carrey.
that dude's a hardcore
There was a
Christian.
movie with Jim Carrey actually called "I Love You, Philip Seymour" or something, whatever it's called. I don't know, but he plays a gay man that's in jail in love with Jim Carrey. He's also a gay man in jail, and it's a whole thing. I don't think they would be all about that, man.
Oh, wow.
I don't think they would.
no.
I'm not saying I'm against it. I'm saying that most of those people are pretty judgmental towards that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Jesus memes. I don't know, man.
Jimmy, have you ever gone ziplining before?
Sorry,
Yeah.
that took a weird turn.
Yeah. No, I've never.
Well, this video right here is actually a video of one of the most. I mean, it's a very beautiful zip line experience. It's I think, in my opinion, the ultimate zip line experience. I'm not a zip liner, but just watching it online, it brought me a lot of faith in zip lining. Just check it out and see what you think about it. All right, so she gets up on the rail and she goes off, and then
No. Man,
So this girl,
Jimmy, what happened?
there's somebody else down there she landed on too, ain't it?
Yeah,
There's more than one person on.
tell us what happened, Jimmy.
Oh man, I don't know. I do not know. Let's see it again.
So, basically, this girl is getting on a zip line all secured and fastened, but the fastener breaks and she falls and plummets probably about 80 feet from what it looks like. And she broke I think she broke her back and a couple of ribs, and I think her leg too, something like that. She survived and she's able to walk again. But this girl got fucked up. I've gone ziplining, and that shit is scary.
Oh,
it's so
yeah.
much fun, but it is fucking scary. You're hanging from the wires 200 feet in the air, going almost 40 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And the only thing stopping you is maybe someone holding it with the gloves, yourself, or this mechanism. You got to lift your legs up so you don't break your fucking legs.
Hold on, stop looping it, because
Luke's losing his mind.
What I love is how it. The next time you see her, she's just sprawled on the ground.
I know. There's somebody over
Jesus,
here.
Luke.
She's there, but where is she? She's just on the floor.
You'd be laughing the whole time, laugh it off. If a kid got hurt, you'd be
God.
laughing to make sure they laugh it off. You'd
No,
be
I've
fucking
been-
laughing.
No.
This is horrific. This
Yeah.
is why I don't do any of this thrill seeker shit. None
Man,
of it's for me.
and doing the mechanical
None of
type
it.
stuff as I've always done. That's one of the reasons I don't like riding rides. roller coasters. I know
well,
what
they're
they
pretty
pay.
fucking scary, man.
I know what they pay those maintenance guys. And
I'm
not saying nothing
prone.
against Kings Island that way, you know what I mean? But man, you look up and this could be loose or whatever. You know
I knew
what
a guy
mean?
that
a carnival especially.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it because I'm too accident prone. I'm always getting hurt. And like
gangly.
Yeah, like if
Me too.
you'll go to like your friends will play soccer, right? And you'll go, oh man, hope no one gets hit in the head. I'm the guy who's gonna get hit.
You
in
get
the
hit
head
in the teeth and knock a tooth out
every
or something?
time, every single time. It's
Dude,
gonna
I
be
fucking
me.
stubbed my toe yesterday and my pinky toenail completely fell off. Bled.
Oh
I was
my
like,
God.
I just barely scraped it, dude, and it just fucking knocked that sucker out.
I have never had to lose a nail before,
It's awful.
and I dread the day it happens.
Dude, it's like
I dread
just
it.
as bad as you're picturing it in your head, like a Final Destination movie or something. It's that bad. Because then you, like, let's say it's still dangling on your fucking finger or your toe.
Dude, you're
You
making
gotta
my
yank
butt
it
all
off.
tight, dude.
You gotta pull it off like
It's
a Band-Aid.
Yes.
Have you done that?
No, man, I actually broke my toe one time and my toenail turned purple. And my dad come home and seen it and took
Shut
a drill
up.
bit, swear to you, drill bit
Shut
and a
the
drill, dude.
fuck
I'm not
up.
lying. I was screaming and crying. No. And man, when he turned the drill on, man, I froze because I knew that we were going there. And we both needed to be really surgically good right now. And I'm not
What are you
kidding.
talking about? Like
A drill bit, a little bitty, like maybe an 1/8 inch drill bit.
into the nail.
Yeah, right in the top of the toenail. Because that's what's hurting is the pressure.
Yeah.
That's blood
You
buildup.
got to release the pressure.
Oh, man.
What happens if you don't?
Well, then it's going to continue hurting
yeah,
like
you
a
keep
motherfucker.
feeling like your pulse through it, just that boom, boom.
It'll dissipate eventually, but it sucks ass.
Oh, yeah, as soon as that bit went through the top of that nail, and you're thinking, man, meat and bone.
It hurts for a second, but then you get the relief.
Yeah, man. Yeah, the relief is unreal, man. It's
Squirts
just like-
out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, it don't like hit the ceiling or nothing, but yeah, you
It's
get
not like
blood
Evil
everywhere.
Dead.
It's like
Yeah.
if you popped a cyst or like some type of like really bad cyst.
Man, after that, it's like you really didn't hurt your toe.
So
Look,
you
okay,
put a
so-
drill through your fucking toe.
No, you didn't hear me. My dad
Yeah.
took a drill through
His
my toe.
father.
Right, I sat there.
I fortunately, through all of the tragic car accidents I have been through, and the small pains I have had, I've only had a hairline fracture in my wrist. I have never had any gory or severe accidents like that, luckily, my entire life.
Yeah.
And I am so squeamish because of it, because I've never had to deal with that or that kind of pain. Like, I once got like a big chunk of my back of my hand like removed from a razor, and I was like,
Ooh.
oh, like I felt like I was gonna barf, and
Like a
I was
slicer?
just curled over. Yeah.
Oh, fuck
Dude,
that,
it was
dude.
bad.
I've seen some
Bad.
bad shit happen to people with slicers.
Oh my god.
I've told it once in the podcast before, but I'll tell it one more
The whole
time.
palm.
But yeah, some guy was like slicing meat, and then all you hear is zzz, real quick, and he's like, "Oh my god, I just cut off the whole front of my hand," and the whole palm of his hand was sliced off.
Are you serious?
I swear to God,
You was there?
I was fucking there. My owner was there, and the blood squirted all over the ceiling, and it was dripping all down. And my boss couldn't even look at it. He was looking at it. He was like, "Okay, you need to go to the hospital." And he just, the guy drove to the hospital, and he.
Did they put his palm back on?
I don't know. I think he had to get
That
skin
shit
grafts.
regrows. I burn my palm pretty significantly all the time. Like I've had good $50 size burns. on both.
Felmer's glue only worked really.
Well, as a saute cook, I mean, I get boiling hot grease burns on my hands, and like the skin falls off, and it
Oh, I'm
sucks.
Cody and I do
It's
stuff.
horrible. But what I'm saying is, it regrows, and you don't like. I have scars all over my arms. Like I'm sure you can see it from working as a saute cook.
No, I work
but
so hard.
I had a bunch on both of my palms, and they're all regenerated. So I would imagine just from getting those burns, I don't know
Man,
about
Cody,
cutting it like
I'm a
that, but I think that
superhero.
it would probably grow back just fine.
For the most part, it would. But you know what's crazy about your human body, and I learned this recently,
Fuck
is
you,
that
Luke.
if
Let me
you-
just hold on, Pat. Luke, you could suck a million dicks at once. All right, Pat, go ahead.
So if you slice off your finger, like your fingerprint, it will grow back the exact same way.
Really?
I was blown
That's
up.
not true.
It
It
is
is.
so fucking true.
That's why your
and it
fingerprint
is so
is-
crazy.
That's why your fingerprint's used against you in court, because you can't ever alter it.
Can't
you
slice
can't
your-
ever get
No,
rid
I
of
thought
it.
that was the reason people chewed and like scarred the
They try
scarified
to.
their
It's
fingertips.
an urban myth.
No.
You
Oh,
can't
really?
Get rid of,
Yeah.
you can get rid of it while the burn is there.
I
then it
just
heals
learned
up.
something today.
You have
Isn't
to
that
cut your
crazy?
fingertips off. You have to literally cut your fingertips off, and then you guess how they identify you. You're the
Teeth.
dude with no fingertips.
fingertips.
Like, it's pretty simple.
Yeah.
It's pointless.
You really
fucking
struggle
idiots
with
who
car
cut their
keys.
fingers
No,
off.
you commit an unspeakable amount of murders, and then you don't get caught that entire time, and then you cut off your fingertips.
That's
I'm glad
so
that Luke
stupid.
has all the inside tips on serial killing.
Yeah, dude,
Like,
it's a simple fix.
What would be your
You just
go-to?
kill a bunch of
You
just
kill
kill a
some-
bunch of
here's
people.
how you do it.
You
Here-
don't get caught.
What? Yeah. If
And
you
then
did,
you
how
do
would
it.
you do it?
If I did what?
If you murdered someone, if
How
you
would
did
you do
it,
it?
what's your O.J. Simpson story?
Dude,
Luke's
I don't
like,
know. I'm
well-
too much of a bitch.
You know what you got to do?
What?
You got to remove their teeth.
I got what?
Got to cut off their
Oh,
fingertips.
you're talking about post
Gotta burn them.
I thought you were talking about like the act of killing.
You got to feed them to the dogs, and then you got to burn the clothes.
and somehow you gotta fuck their like neck hole after you decapitate. I mean, decapitating
fuck.
standard. You have to somehow fuck that neck hole and get rid of your DNA after you
Yeah.
splooge inside
So
the
eat
neck
the
hole.
brain.
Cody's
You know what I'm
doing.
talking about, Jimmy.
No. No.
So we
No.
know what Cody's doing
No.
after his first. You know?
God damn.
I feel like I feel like that was a different version of Horrible Bosses for a second. We're going there, like those two were in the back of the car. What are you gonna? I mean, would you shoot him? What would you do?
Yeah.
If I had to kill someone.
If you had to kill your boss.
All right, give me a scenario.
I love my boss.
All right, your
Somebody
boss.
that hurt your family.
Your boss
What?
fucked your
So-
mom.
Somebody hurt your family
Someone
bad.
boss
hurt my
is good
family
people.
bad.
Your boss fucked your mom and your dad and
I'm
your grandma and
Physically,
Yeah.
I'm hurting them the exact same way, but worse.
You're gonna fuck his mom.
No, you dummy. You didn't listen. You were speaking.
Yeah.
He said, if someone hurt my family, and I said hurt them physically. He said, yeah. I said I would hurt them the exact same way, but worse.
Gotcha.
Yeah, dude.
Gotcha.
Quid pro
Classic
quo.
revenge move.
Quid pro quo.
Guess that's
Or
true.
I just gun them down in the street and then go to jail right away.
You
Jimmy,
wouldn't
how do you
play like a
feel?
long game?
How do you feel riding this far off the rails with this podcast?
Man, I was gonna go with zip tie.
How would you murder someone?
Absolutely zip tie.
What, you just zip
How
tie
though?
to
How are
death?
you
What do you
doing a
mean?
zip tie death?
Oh man, you can get these big industrial zip ties. They're like 3/4 of
Like
an inch wide. Some of them's
strangulation?
got like a steel band. Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
You know, especially if it was some kind of vendetta like that was really, really personal. You know what I mean? They hurt your
What
kid,
does someone
they
have to
hurt your
do to
wife.
you? Yeah.
Right. Hurt my kids, something like my wife, whatever. Yeah.
You would zip tie him.
No, dude. You get these things like 6-7 foot long.
Yeah.
Plus-
What's
sucker
the
out to
idea
you.
though? What's
Yeah.
the,
What then?
Catch
what?
you walking.
Okay, so they're zip tied. Then what?
It's strangulation. Round their neck.
With another
you're
zip
walking.
tie?
Whap. No, man. These things are long, man. They're big. You got a hoop. I come up
So
behind
you're saying you use the zip tie as a murder weapon, not
Oh,
as a...
100%.
Oh,
Yeah.
So me and Pat
I
thought
was
that you were talking about
Yeah.
a restrainment device.
Yeah.
No,
You just-
man,
you
no,
find
no,
them.
Like, this
yeah.
is the beginning to a
Yeah,
murder.
I'm thinking
but
you're-
he's so
you're gonna-
much less serial killer than me and Pat because he's just like, no, I just meant I'd kill him with that.
Well,
Me and
think
Pat are
about
like,
it.
hold on, no,
You-
wait, here's
You
how
get it
you
around
do
their you get it around their neck like that. You snatch it, boom. There's no screaming.
Yeah, I was thinking you just found them randomly in the street and you
The harder
zip tie
they
their
fought
arms
it,
and
the
legs.
freaked
And
out.
you're like, I
Gotcha.
gotcha. Now what?
You
Yeah.
come with me now.
Get away from them. That way they can't grab you and get any DNA underneath your skin. You know what I mean? That connects
The
you to it.
scratches and
Yeah.
whatnot. Yeah.
And then when they're done, just clip it off and walk away. Let somebody figure
so
it out.
there's this maniac that I
But if that ever
used
happens, I didn't
to
do
work
it.
with. I used
Speedway
to work
Steve?
with him.
Nazi?
No.
Nazi?
No.
The one
But
that we
he-
accidentally had on our podcast,
This
Luke?
dude was a maniac, and he would openly talk about like if he ever possessed a gun, he would probably shoot the guys who bullied him in school. And if he,
I didn't work with you. What are you talking about?
Oh my god!
Give me
you're
the
a maniac.
story.
He
Sorry, I
also
was just
talked
kidding.
about if he
Spill it.
he could see himself as being one of the school shooters.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And you
Yeah,
didn't
this
say
dude is
shit.
a straight up maniac. No, I said shit all of the
What,
time.
you told him?
Oh yeah, I
told
told
him?
him he was a maniac. Yeah, he
You said this dude's this
he would talk
motherfucker.
about this stuff as if he was bragging about it.
Maybe
this
that's
guy-
his anti-bully mechanism because
What-
you don't fuck with crazy.
But when I worked with him, this man just
Right.
disappeared. He just stopped coming to work.
Did you think he was gonna come in there and fucking katana your ass up or some shit?
Or everybody, like just shoot the whole place up. But no, like he'd stopped coming in. We never heard from him again. But he also talked about how his wife was the same way. So I always theorized he left to cover up whatever murder his wife committed.
I'm sorry if this isn't exactly what you're talking about, but I feel like it plays into it. We haven't talked too much about your tattooing, but I'm curious. What's the most the most psychotic dude that you've ever tattooed before? You don't have to tell a name, but like, do you
Tell
have
me
a
his-
story
tell me what it rhymes
about like
with.
somebody that you're just sitting there with for a couple hours and they're telling you some real like, what the fuck? How am I talking to this person right now?
Man,
type
I tell you
thing?
one that threw me off one time. It was a dude. It was a guy and a girl, and it really probably ain't that big of a deal. But man, I thought they were married. They were, but not to each other. Dude, and they'd had this going. Yeah, dude. Yeah, they were dating, but they were both married to other people. And they've been doing this like 15, 16 years, man, like steady. And both of them spouses called and everything while they was there. And I was like,
What the fuck?
what kind of, could you imagine, you know what I mean, to just a life like that for that 15 years? And she was like, no, man, my
Just
old man makes really good.
lying.
Yeah, her husband made really good money. His wife made really good money. They like fucked off. They didn't even like have like really, really good jobs that way. And it was like, it was crazy. It was insane. I couldn't
But those
believe
were the craziest ones. Like I was thinking, like, did you tattoo any fucking like real gangsters, like doing some real crazy shit?
Yeah, man, I've tattooed some dudes' faces before, you know what I mean? They would cover up whatever. The one, he already had a bunch of them on his face. And that's real weird because your hands are like in a really weird place, you know, on somebody's nose or mashing their lips together.
You
or
were
something.
doing cover-ups for old hate tattoos, weren't you, recently?
Man, yeah, I've done a couple of them. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I had seen did a Nazi symbol cover-up recently.
You know what the wild part about that story is, man, I know this person. And I haven't known him for a long time, maybe 5-6 years, something like that.
Yeah.
And man, he thought I never know. He's got a lot of tattoos. You know what I mean? He's covered, and I never knew he had it. Never did. Swear to you, never did. And man, he thought that's the first thing you've seen. He's like, dude, you do tattoos. How in the world could you not have seen that? And I'm like, dude, I don't know. I mean, and if you've seen the post, you know, it's a pretty good size.
Right.
You know, but no, I mean, I never did see it. But in his mind, you know what I mean, where that thing set, you know what I mean, he was
so concerned about.
Oh, very
where it
much
was.
so. Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
the biggest insecurity he's got. Oh, I totally hear you.
Yeah. And it was just wild, you know what I mean. It wasn't so. It was sincerity in wanting that to go away. You know what I mean? Because he just that wasn't where he was anymore in his life.
Jimmy, I'm curious. With people bringing in friends to the tattoo shop, how do you feel about that from like a client level, like where the clients will bring in like 3 of their friends, like take
sit
for
with them?
example some
Like to hold their hand or some shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Like some college girls, like they make it a whole big ass adventure for
You know what,
all
man?
9 of their friends. Susan, Kylie, fucking. Like,
It depends on what
Susan!
it depends on what,
Kylie just oh my god, dude.
I'm sorry for any friends named Susan or Kylie.
it would depend, man. Really on what level you're on, what seat you're on a business end, I guess, and as a clientele end. You know what I mean? As long as it all stays in hand, nobody's getting crazy or anything like that. But man, you're selling the experience. Maybe out of the 3 girls, the one is the first one that's going to get that tattoo. She has a good time. They laugh about it. They like their tattoo. It was a great souvenir. They love each other. Going to be friends forever. A couple weeks later, boom, they're coming back. And they enjoyed it. You know what I mean? So you can look at it as a business end to where it's like, yeah, you know what I mean? We had a good time with the one, ended up getting 3. Yeah, that's awesome. That keeps the lights on and everybody paid. But also, it's just that experience, you know what I mean, that you have that, because now those 3 are going to go out and, you know, tell about their experience and stuff. You know, you got to kind of cater to it that way, I believe.
Yeah.
You know, we're nobody special where you turn those kind of, you know, anybody away like that. By no means.
you have too many
You know
friends.
what I
Get the
mean?
fuck out of here.
Well, you know what I mean, and you do. You know, I don't want to. You know, I'm not a badass. You know what I mean? That's just not who I am. Where I'm cool, and if you come in and want to talk about tattoos, I got to talk over your head and let you know that you don't know nothing, man. You know what I mean? When
You're
you
just
come
a
in,
punk.
right? Yeah, you know, I don't have to establish that. I don't feel the need to impress you that way, and you have confidence in me of that's who I am. I would rather listen to you, see what your idea is. You know what I mean? Because you get some people, they may not be an artist, but man, they may have a perception, you know, a way they see things and visualize things, put things together to where it's like, man, that's a tool you can use too. I never thought about that process to get there.
Wouldn't you qualify that as being an artist, just understanding things like that visually and another understanding?
If you want to interpret that way,
maybe a visionary. I don't know that I'd call him an artist, but maybe a visionary.
Right, yeah.
There's people that can write blueprints, and there's other people that can build the walls, and there's people that can do both. But like, it's all its own thing. If you're not able to
apply it,
sure,
and not just think about it.
And some people are able to think about it, but they have these ridiculous, insane like ideas in their head about the way that certain tattoos work, and they just don't know better. They're ignorant to the way that shit works, so they come to you with an idea that's just not feasible, and you have to make that feasible for them. And they might see it and have problems with it, I'm sure, where they're like, that's not what I saw in my head, and you have to kind of break down to them, like, tattoos work a certain way.
Man, that all that right there comes down on trust. You know what I mean? And that's trust both ways. You know, you're going to be there when you said you was going to be there. You know, you're going to have this, you're going to have that, and you build that trust one step at a time. You know, through their consultation, through the first phone call contact, any of that stuff. You know what I mean? You just try to be really consistent, super consistent, and man, sometimes that can get really hard because you'll get involved because it's not just drawing, man. You got to create.
You got to visualize it.
Yeah,
you got to imagine it.
Yeah.
You got to have the idea.
And sometimes that's hard, man. You know what I mean? Because it's like, yeah, okay, I've done this, and in each one you want to.
But that's what I'm saying. Wouldn't that make you an artist to be able to have that imagination? Just because you can't physically do it yourself.
Well, I was talking from the tattooer's perspective.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Anyways, go on.
But yeah, right. Yeah, but it is, man. It's a lot about the experience, you know, and like I say, and it absolutely is. I mean, you want a good product and stuff like that, 100%. You know what I mean? And but it's definitely about the experience. I think that's where your return customers come from.
Yeah.
If they have a shitty experience, you know what I mean? They have a great tattoo, but you know maybe the guy was a dick or he was real short or. You know, whatever. Just made you feel uncomfortable. Maybe he's a little fucking, you know, whatever.
Maybe he only had one leg, and like that other stumpy leg was making you uncomfortable the whole time. Maybe he was putting quality work on you, but that little stumpy leg was really bothering you.
Oh man, yeah. Well,
kidding.
Stumpy.
I'm kidding. I'm fucking
Stumpy.
No.
Stumpy leg.
I made a stumpy leg joke, and everybody's butthole sealed up. Like
I don't think so. We used to play like stump porn videos.
Yeah, dude,
did you ever get to see the stump porn?
Yeah,
video?
first go around. Yeah, that was.
It's a classic.
I'm so
man.
glad because I'm so fucking sick of watching that video.
No, I hear
it was
you.
like a 70s or 80s, wasn't it? It was
yes.
Well, let's rewatch it and decide.
No.
Pat
we have this other
queued it
video
up.
of a guy jacking off in front of his grandma.
No.
Completion.
Hard pass.
I mean, he really commits, and as an
For
artist,
5 minutes.
Jimmy, as an artist, I feel like you can relate. Like, you don't want an artist that just like, if you were to hire somebody, all right, now think of him as somebody hireable. You want somebody that even if they start a project, no
Thinks
matter
outside
how
the box.
crazy that project is, no matter how outside the box it is, he gets it all the way to completion. And I think that's
He
what
sees a job finished. You start an idea,
These
you
two are
execute
monsters,
it.
man. They're
No,
maniacs.
they are absolutely. Yeah, commitment. You got to have commitment, I reckon.
Yeah, that's
Good
what I'm
God.
saying.
Yeah, you gotta have some serious.
Let's fucking get past those two gross ass videos. If we're gonna talk anything sexual, we need to talk about the shenanigans that R. Kelly's been up to.
All right.
Oh
Luke,
my
read
God!
this
Yeah, R.
headline.
Kelly. That
No
whole situation.
bond for R. Kelly will remain in federal custody on sex crime charges.
Okay, so Jimmy doesn't know the whole story about R. Kelly altogether. So R. Kelly is an R&B
Pull up
singer.
YouTube.
He's super famous. I guarantee you've heard one of his songs. At some point, he was super famous in the 90s, early 2000s. He has like a bunch of different women that were really underage at the time. He married them or some shit. Oh, and then basically kept them in their houses like a little sex cult. It's really fucking weird.
And he had a whole interview where he cried and pleaded about.
Yeah, I heard
how,
about that. Yeah.
Now,
Comedy.
What was he crying about?
About how he was accused for all of these terrible things. Now, if you had any sympathy for him, this video will kill it.
And also, he got in trouble for this before, and he got away with it. It was underage, like sex or some shit. He got away with it before.
He pissed on a young, on an underage girl.
Yeah, that's what he got famous for. He got pissed on some girl.
He got famous for his music. He got
then-
busted for pissing on an underage girl.
I
don't
believe
know.
I can fly.
I think about.
believe I can fly.
Is that who that is?
Yeah, that guy.
I believe I can touch.
Was that on
the sky.
Space Jam?
And then there's
Yeah,
the
it was.
There's also the famous song "Age Is Just a Number," which clearly he does quite
Oh,
frequently
wow.
in his life.
No, this happened all the way back through the 90s, but they settled out of court, all this shit, blah, blah, blah. Luke has a point. I'm segueing it back to you.
Thank you. Now, if you would play the video, this song was played outside of the country, in a foreign country, and he is trying to do a little bit of brainwashing.
Yeah.
Or some recruitment work.
He's also super broke, so he only plays just this, and then he gets off.
I got it.
That's not true.
That's totally true.
Passport? Did you get your shots? Girl, would you like to come back with Rob to America? America. Do you have your passport? Did you get your shots? Girl, would you like to come back with Rob to America? America.
You hear the backup singers? Like
They playing this fucking thing out? This is real?
You got your shot.
their eyebrows
real
have
life?
all got to be raised, and they're all just looking at each other like, we're
Hey.
singing this fucking song?
Girl, did you get your shots? Do you have your passport?
Like, what the fuck
Do you
kind
want
of
to come
sex
back
call
to America?
shit is this motherfucker running right now?
Holy cow.
Is it worth finishing, or is it
No.
the same shit?
But it's the same
He
shit.
just starts getting louder and more ridiculous with it.
Oh my god,
More
what a
obscene.
fucking maniac.
So he's
Yeah.
like,
I'm
he's
so happy this guy's in custody.
Yeah.
And I'm
He is
so
in
happy that
custody.
he got
Yeah.
denied bond. That happened today. By the time you hear this podcast in 5 days, there'll be other weird news that you know about. But as of the time we're recording this, like 2 hours ago, this man got denied bond.
Good.
Well,
Like,
because they found 3 videos of underage sex that came out.
But this wasn't the first time it happened. He got
Nope.
in Dade County in like 2001, right before he put out "I Believe I Can Fly" as his like hit single, fucking top of the Billboard charts. He was in court for like pissing on a 14-year-old.
That's what we were talking
And
about.
then when it went to court, he paid off the family and the 14-year-old. Like, gave them a bunch of presents and money, so they refused to testify. So he got off with that child pornography charge, got charged with 19 other counts of child pornography, and got away with all of it by just throwing money at the problem.
Not
To
only
these
that,
poor families.
he's keeping like teenage.
He's a predator.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
keeping
without
people
question.
hostage and brainwashing
They need to
them
just,
with
like-
sex to shit in these houses. He's got like a bunch of houses with a bunch of different women in there, and he forbids them from seeing their family.
So I'm not a fan of communism at all, but like one part of the communist system when
careful.
when
Be
they
careful.
I know I'm being careful. Listen to this. When they Andrei Chikatilo, a serial
Be
killer in
careful.
Russia.
Allegedly.
Be careful.
No, when they convicted this man, they had proof of it, and he admitted to his crimes and pulled his dick out in prison, talking about it's a long story, but like
Allegedly.
he for sure did it. And they came into his cell,
Yeah.
shot him in the back of the head within like a year and a half of him being convicted. With this dude, I don't know. I'm not saying that we
I
should
didn't
go
know
the
that's
Russian
how
route,
he went
but
out. That's awesome.
my
Jeffrey
dude,
Dahmer
if
didn't
you're
make it
sexually
long.
assaulting,
No.
yeah, he went and got his head smashed in.
Wait, he died. And someone beat his ass in prison and killed
Well,
him.
they
Oh, he
took
got
a rock.
fucked up in
They
prison.
took a rock when he was out on work detail, and somebody
it was
bashed
a broom
his
and
brains
an
out.
He must have
Killed
been
him.
a fucking psychopath in jail too. I bet
No.
he pulled some
No, the
crazy
dude was
shit
scared
too.
of him.
No, yeah.
Oh, they just
weren't
they were just scared of him?
No,
Yeah.
he was a model citizen. He wasn't a powerful man by any stretch.
Right,
He,
no,
he
He
was
lured
committing
young
his
boys.
murder. He was committing his murder and having sex with them as if he was like masturbating in the corner. And when he got discovered by the police, it was like they caught him, and he was just like, "Oh no, I'm sorry, I don't know what to do." So like he was totally open of like the famous prison interview, like that one.
I mean, I know the whole story about
yeah.
him, but I just didn't know someone killed him in prison. or
Yeah,
something.
when he was
Yeah,
on
yeah.
I believe it was,
He
with
was not
like
going
a
in there
broom or a mop
macho
handle he
or
stabbed
anything.
him with. Broke it and stabbed him in
That's
an
how it
elevator.
happened?
Yeah, I
think
thought
he
he
was
died
out.
in the washroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I heard.
Okay, I'm probably
And they
wrong
killed him
about
because they were
this.
like scared of him. Like, this dude's a fucking.
Yeah.
No.
No, they were just like,
He's
fuck this
saying
guy.
yeah. You're both saying no.
No, people get prison justice. Like motherfuckers that are in jail for the rest of their life.
You ever
if
seen the
not
dude that
life.
did it?
No.
He's not a big dude at all, little guy.
Can we
Oh,
look it
really?
up? Is it searchable?
Yeah, see if they show him.
Guy who killed Jeffrey Dahmer.
From
I wonder if he's got a quote like "I don't regret it."
I think he.
something like that.
I'm. Why wouldn't he say that? That's so savage. Oh, Jeffrey was a little
Jeff
bitch.
Dahmer. Oh, they got it abbreviated.
Christopher
Christopher?
J. Scarver. Born July 6, 1969, is an American convicted murderer who is best known for murdering the serial killer and cannibal Jeffrey Dahmer at Columbia Correctional Institution in Portage, Wisconsin in 1994. Let's go to the death thing on Wikipedia.
Does that mean he redeemed himself?
Oh, I lied. I do 6'3".
From murder?
Oh, that dude's a giant.
Dude, he killed the fuck out of him.
He killed the fuck
What?
out
How
of
do you
him.
do it with? Does it tell you?
Let's see.
Conduct in prison.
Go back up.
Blah, blah, blah.
Murder conviction.
Murder conviction. On June 1st, 1990, Scarver went to the Wisconsin Conservation Corps training program office and found Steve Lohman, the supervisor who had replaced Edward Patz. Scarver demanded money from Lohman. When Scarver received only $15 from Lohman, Scarver shot Lohman in the head. At the same time, he demanded money from the site manager, John Fayen. According to authorities, Scarver said, "Do you think I'm kidding? I need more money." Scarver shot Lohman twice more before Fayen was able to run away after giving a $3,000 check to Scarver. Scarver was convicted and sentenced to life in prison and sent to the Columbia Correctional Institution in Portage, Wisconsin in 1992. While in prison, he complained of experiencing mesosonic delusions and was diagnosed with schizophrenia. Conduct in prison. Blah 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 blah.
That's where
does he get to
Dahmer
the Jeffrey
is.
Dahmer
That
one?
is where Jeffrey Dahmer is in the conduct.
Oh,
in
here we
prison.
go. On
Yeah,
the
you're
morning
reading
of,
all the boring shit.
Read this. I'm drunk.
Okay, on the morning of November 28th, 1994, Scarver was assigned a work detail with two other inmates, Jesse Anderson and Jeffrey Dahmer, which included cleaning the prison gymnasium toilet. When corrections officers left the three unsupervised, Scarver beat the two men with a 20-inch metal bar that he had removed from a piece of exercise equipment in the prison weight room. This dude was fucking killing it.
Wow.
When he returned to his cell
Barbarian.
early, an officer asked him why he was still not working. During that time, two officers found Dahmer and Anderson. Scarver said that Dahmer had taunted other inmates by constructing severed limbs out of food and ketchup. Dahmer was declared dead on arrival at the hospital, while Anderson died
Good.
2 days later.
I wish
after
he could
being
have died
found
more
competent to
horrifically.
stand trial. Scarver received 2 more life sentences for these murders.
I wish that Dahmer could have died way more horrifically.
How would you do it, Cody?
A barbell. That's pretty
I
brutal.
mean, they should have
Yeah,
killed
it
him the
is.
way that he killed his victims. They should have drilled holes into Dahmer's brain and poured like hydrochloric acid into them and let him die the slow, horrible death that his victims died right before he raped them and murdered them. Fuck that guy.
God, that's so fucked
Fuck
up.
Dahmer. I hate the people that like try to romanticize serial killers. I learned about
Yeah,
them
they're all terrible people.
to,
That's
like,
so weird.
All of them.
Why?
I fucking don't like the people that sit there and romanticize them. It's some like new cultural thing where they're like,
didn't someone...
Ted Bundy was so hot. What, when he fucked and killed a 12-year-old? He was hot when he did that? You fucking ridiculous people.
Didn't someone
Fuck
marry
these
him,
serial
like,
killers.
that met him in jail or some shit? Was that Dahmer? Or was that,
Man, I don't think Dahmer
fucking...
was in jail a real
Manson.
long time. when
That
he
was
got
that
killed.
Manson.
Manson got married. in
That's so
prison.
fucking
A
crazy.
few
Oh,
people
yeah,
got
yeah.
married.
Like, why
in
why
prison.
is that so romanticized? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. What the fuck
'Cause
happened to you as
people
a
are
kid?
dumb.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah,
All right.
fucking...
This is why we had you on, because you're a forensic psychologist,
There you
Jim
go.
Howell.
Absolutely.
And as a forensic psychologist, how would you weld the coffins together of the victims of Jeffrey Dahmer? Would you have separate boxes for their like spleen pate and their fucking like ceviche liver?
Oh my
Man, I
god.
don't know. It'd almost be like an ice tray, really.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe I
You
should
would
be
have to
talking
do
to
them
a
up like
catering
the
agent.
Egyptians and just have a jar for each one.
Yeah.
Or a casket for each one.
Right on. Did you
Yeah.
guys want to get into more videos before we close this thing out?
If you want to watch one more, it's up to you guys. If not, I'm totally down for whatever.
Did you ever play the video that you were talking about?
Yeah. I think. Yeah, the R. Kelly video.
Yeah, we got it. Anyways, so, dude, thanks so much for coming on.
Hey, I
It was
appreciate it,
seriously
guys, for
awesome.
sure.
Good
Absolutely.
fucking time. You always have some great stories. You have a great fucking attitude. An amazing Hawaiian shirt. I'm super jealous.
Hawaiian shirt bros.
Yeah, we're bros now.
Absolutely.
We're twins. I'll never forget that.
I know you
man.
because you didn't even hesitate. It was immediately. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I just had to do it. And seriously, go check out the Pike Tattoo Shop. Amazing artist. It's like a family there. If you go there, you're going to have a good time. I've gotten tattooed by there. Luke's gotten tattooed by there. So we mean it. It's a good fucking shop. We did a live show there. We fucking love those places.
Check out Sephora and Long. Check out Brian Howell. Check out Jimmy Howell's art. Check out Mike Dunn. Every artist at that shop is quality. And
Oh,
they all
yeah.
put out phenomenal work. Sorry to interrupt your plug. Go ahead.
Is there anywhere where we can
No,
follow
it's
you?
better.
That we can get any of your information, see your tattoo work?
Yeah, we most of it's just through like Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that.
Gotcha. At the Pike Tattoo.
The Pike Tattoo Company. Yeah.
Jimmy,
Seriously, check it out.
No bullshit. Love you, man. Thank you so
Hey,
much.
thanks,
That's a
fellas. No,
fact,
very,
really.
I'm fortunate, big time.
Yeah, we'd love to have you back
Thanks
on
for
again.
doing this podcast with us. It's
Yeah,
just
maybe
fun
we can
to
do it at
just
the
sit
shops
here.
again sometime. Maybe
I'd love
that would be
man.
cool. I mean, if you guys was down with it.
Absolutely.
Without
That was
question.
so
We'd
much
love that,
fun.
dude.
For sure.
You guys are like family. Thanks so much for doing the podcast.
Yeah,
Anything you want to
appreciate it,
shout
fellas.
out before we turn this shit off?
No, man, just be good. Just be good people.
Be good.
Great last words.
All
Peace
right.
out.
Excellent note.
Till next time, fuckers. Peace.